I think I got everything going. Pull this up. Hello. Good morning, all. Why aren't you vegan yet? I would like to know. All right, so why aren't you vegan yet? I have some resources up here. Let's see, we have nutritionfacts.org. They're a really great website. They have Vegan Dailey Dozen, just an easy checklist to make sure you get everything you need in a day. Vegan Easy, just a great group to help you kickstart, your habits, to help you get patterns and find community. Same thing with Vegan Outreach. They have 10 weeks to vegan. It's a similar setup, but you choose what you want to do. There's other vegan challenges. Just Google vegan challenges. You'll find them. Oh, I don't have any of my lights on. Let's fix that. It's not plugged in. Okay. Oh, the lights are all off. Thank you. Also, I was really far away. You guys probably had a hard time hearing me. Hey, Ben. It's good to see you. Also, I have on the other side of me some other resources to watch. Dominion. It is 2 hours long, but it covers just basic standard practices. All those labels: free range, grass-fed, small local slaughterhouse, or even farm. Dairy is Scary is only 5 minutes long, just shows you what's inherent in dairy. You have to have a mammal be pregnant in order for her to produce milk. Where are her babies? Who decides if and when she gets pregnant? Who decides who she gets pregnant with? The farmer or the cow? Is that fair to the cow? So, yeah. Yeah, well, you could have a vegan burger. Excuse me, make sure my volume is up. Jason. Hey, are you over 18?
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh, that's not true. Frank.
Yo, what's up?
Are you over 18?
Yep, I'm 25, born in 2000. Greatest
Right
year
on.
ever.
Why aren't you vegan yet?
Because I can't afford it.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
seen how much vegan food is?
Yeah, I'm vegan. So
It's
actually, you'd be surprised. Oxford did a study on this. They found that being vegan is actually cheaper than most omnivore diets.
Well, when I go to my supermarket, a vegan burger is $10 more than a normal burger.
Why are you eating burgers?
Huh?
Why are
Well, I
you
can't
eating
afford it
burgers?
because it's
Okay.
cheap.
Well, you should go to nutritionfacts.org. They have what's called the Vegan Daily Dozen. It's actually one of the cheapest diets that you can be on. Whole
All right, I'll do that
foods.
right now.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, definitely check it out. And then I would also recommend, if you're still in the chat, check out Dominion, so you know what it is you're paying for. Let's say you have to pay a couple extra dollars, right? What's worth more, someone's entire life or $2? Exactly, Ozark. Exactly. You could make it at home too. There's lots of options. If it's really price that's holding you back, there are options. But the Vegan Daily Dozen is a great place to start because, like I said, it's whole foods. It's like rice, beans, in-season fruits and vegetables, canned fruits and vegetables, frozen fruits and vegetables. Oh my gosh, tongue tying. Anyway, it's really simple. It's Kaylin. No? Okay. All right. Slade? I can't hear you if you're out of the
Hello?
app. Hey, are you over 18?
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I am. I'm 21.
Right on. Okay. So why aren't you vegan yet?
So I actually was vegan, for 7 years.
Okay,
The
so
reason I'm not anymore, would be because I developed osteoporosis and, got a medical discharge from the military because of it.
so
And the
why
doctor had linked it to me being vegan for so long.
so why did you go vegan the first time?
Well, it wasn't really my choice. I was a little bit younger, and my mom wanted to, and so didn't really have much of a choice there.
Why did your mom want to?
To be quite honest with you, I'm not really sure. She isn't now. She did it longer than anyone else did in our family, though. She stopped recently, probably about a year and a half ago, I believe.
So, do you know what veganism actually is versus like a plant based diet?
Yeah, veganism would be abstaining from any products or byproducts from animals. So
So
that, I
that's
mean,
actually a plant based diet. So, veganism is actually a principled stance against the exploitation of sentient beings. A plant based diet is avoiding all animal products.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't aware that there was a difference
Yeah,
of the two.
vegan food just happens to be non-oppressive to the animals. That's why vegans eat a plant-based diet. They call it a vegan diet, but it's veganism specifically means something. I know that it's used on labels of food, but it means to not want to support oppression. So, how do you feel about the animals? Do you
Sorry,
think
I'm connecting my AirPods to.
okay? How do you feel about the animals? Do you think we're oppressing them?
To be honest with you, I don't. I mean, my family owns cows. Like my grandparents, we all herd cattle and stuff.
Do you
So I
think it's
mean,
fair to
not
them?
necessarily, no.
Do you think it's fair to them
Yeah,
what
I
we're
mean,
doing?
I think that yeah, I think all of us go through the cycle of life the same way. I think that animals were put here for a purpose.
The
Um,
same way? Do you expect that your life's going to end with a knife across your throat?
well, no, but I think that we also have a different kind of sentience than animals do.
So, sentience is more of a, there is richness. There's different richness to sentience, but sentience is either you are experiencing life or you're not. You're either experiencing
Yeah,
emotions or
I
you're
guess that's
not.
true.
So, do you understand that those
Yeah,
cows
but I
are
don't. I
sentient?
mean, you would. Yeah, but I mean, I think we can both agree that we have a different level of consciousness, that there's like something
So,
innately human, like that wouldn't apply the same way.
do you think all humans are innately intelligent, or are we all each unique and different?
Not equally, but I'm saying that we all have a different type of consciousness than any
Would
other
you
beings do.
agree that there are some humans that are not sapient? They're just sentient?
Could you define sapient for me?
Yeah, sapience is basically just thinking about thoughts, being self aware, being able to understand complexity of like morality or some situation.
I think majority, at least in the innate sense, they might not have a great grasp of morality, but I'd say that we all have innate morality,
So
if that's what you mean.
there are humans that are not sapient but are only sentient, which means they're making preferences. They prefer to be comfortable and avoid harm, but that's about it. They don't really think of anything else. Maybe they enjoy playing with some toys or something. They enjoy good weather or maybe being put in some water, but they can't make decisions based off of they can't understand morality, right? We have humans like that. They do exist, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Here, is it
Okay.
okay if I reconnect? I'm gonna follow you. We have a ton of mutuals, and so when my connection gets better,
Okay, that's fine. All right, do you mean you're going to come back during this live or just another time?
probably another time. But I do want to continue this conversation because I do like the way it's going.
Okay. Well, then I look forward to hearing from you again. All right. So, my point was, though, just to finish off the thought, is that these animals are sentient, just like some of the humans that we know. And animals are actually quite intelligent. Specifically, cows and pigs are compared to toddlers. Pigs are even compared to like 4-year-olds. But so cows are very intelligent. All the animals we use are sentient. And I was just trying to point out that not all humans are intelligent, and the stupid humans or the humans that maybe don't have full cognition, we still respect them on a base level. Like, we don't find it moral to exploit them because that would demean their dignity. And if we were them, we would want that respect. And I was just trying to point out that we do have a bias for our own species, which is, preventing us from seeing that we're more similar to animals than we think. Oppressors have a habit of demeaning their victims because it's convenient and it makes us feel better about what we're doing. When we realize, though, that an animal cares as much about their life as I care about my life, whatever happens to me, it becomes clear that morally speaking, we're very much the same. Animals don't want to be enslaved or used, just like we don't. They fight from being objectified, but we force them into it. They protect their loved ones, just like we would. And, what you can do is become vegan and not demand that they be born into slavery to be used. I'm going to call you she because I know I don't want to call you, okay, maybe not then. I was like, if I say your name, I might get us kicked. A lot of big talk in the comments, huh? We do actually do better if we eat fiber. I do have privilege, but so do most people. Not even necessarily my skin color privilege. I do have that as well, but that has nothing to do with my diet. Like, the foods that I'm eating are foods that poorer nations rely on. Legumes, grains, local fruits and vegetables that are in season. I don't take, how many iron supplements? Okay. I do take a supplement, but I don't take multiples for iron. That's hilarious. I do it because I'm lazy, and if I don't want to, focus on what I'm eating in a day, it's nice to have a backup. All right, we're gonna bring up another guest. Yuri, are you over 18?
Yes.
Okay. Why aren't you vegan yet?
Well, I mean, that's just, I guess, a personal choice. Just kind of eat what I eat, I don't really give it much thought, to be honest.
A lot of people haven't.
Uh,
Do you know that animals are sentient? Hey, Landon. Do you understand
yes,
that? Okay.
I understand that they're aware of some sort of reality, yeah.
Okay. Do you understand that means that they can suffer, they have subjective feelings like pain and joy?
Yeah, I mean, they have, if they're mammalian, they very much have the same neurological systems
Yeah.
as humans.
They're even
Yeah,
finding that birds go through emotions, like chickens and turkeys and crows,
right,
corvids. So
right.
knowing that these animals can suffer and feel pain, what is the justification for taking their lives or using them without their consent?
I think that the justification is, one, that's how us humans adapted within our system. I'm not saying that it's necessary now, but it was definitely necessary for the thousands, millions of years within our development. And we see those residual effects in our anatomy and physiology. So those are still prevalent. Just because all of a sudden humanity changes our diets broadly within the next 100 years, we will suffer some minor consequences of that just based on our physiology.
Do you
But to
think?
continue the other guys, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, do you think that we can't get everything we need on a plant-based diet right now?
No, we definitely could, but we can't ignore the fact that some of us, probably a large population, will experience health complications and
Like what?
problems
Like what?
because of that.
Like what?
Dietary problems, first off, microgut biota problems as well. Not
I
getting
mean, if
bacteria
you
from
eat a
more protein meat
if you eat
based.
a
Yeah, but
whole food plant-based diet, you'll be fine. If you don't eat your
well, but
needed
that doesn't. But
nutrition,
that
if you
might
don't
differ your
eat your needed
microbiota.
nutrition, if you don't eat your needed nutrition in any diet, you'll become deficient. In fact, most people, including omnivorous people, are deficient in something because they don't pay attention to what they eat. Did you know that?
Yes, but I'm referring more specifically to uh, setting up a microbiota for your
Okay.
gut
How about the
because
fact
each
that
person has a unique microbiota.
how about the fact that cardiovascular disease is our number one unaliver and animal products seem to be the cause? So wouldn't you
Not
say that
necessarily.
currently,
It is itself
wouldn't you
cholesterol.
say currently our current way of eating is causing a majority of people to suffer and have issues, health issues?
Would you say if those same people lessen saturated fats and lessen fats and got leaner cuts of meat, it would do the same because it's their
You know
caloric
what they
intake,
could
not
do that would be
necessarily the meat.
easier? It'd be easier. Just go vegan.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm sure that is a solution, yes, but not
Yes.
everybody
So your
can
argument
do
doesn't
it
make
like
sense
that.
why you aren't
It
vegan.
does because you're trying to.
No. Your argument is you can't go vegan because in the distant future, there will be a population that you claim will suffer from deficiencies. When right now we're currently living in a time where everyone, almost everyone, is suffering from deficiencies, and we're using so many animal products that we're about to burn our planet down. So my
Yes,
argument
but
is, why don't we focus on, first of all, the victims, and say, why don't we just get everything we need from plants and benefit from all of the benefits?
right, but that's not everybody. How much of the populace do you
Okay,
think can
I'm
maintain a
including
diet like that?
everybody. I'm including
Right.
everybody.
Okay. So what's the
There's the
citation that's
there's
saying
okay,
that a population, a full population
reducing
can?
foods environmental impacts through producers and consumers. Goes over thousands of farms in hundreds of countries. Go look it up. We could feed 10 billion people
No,
a
no, no.
fully nutritious diet and only on a quarter of our current ag land. That means we would reduce our agricultural land by 75% and feed over our current population. We currently have people starving because they're growing grains to feed the animals that you want to lick the insides of.
Okay. Again, not all of the populace can maintain a diet like
You're
this.
just making this
Or
up. What is your study? What is your study? Show me your evidence.
you can look up the European Journal of Microbiology.
The
There's an
whole
issue in.
journal?
No, I'm going to give you an issue. It's the issue of microbiotas and individual guts.
What does this have to do with veganism?
You said to cite something, so I did.
Yeah, but what
So
does
there
that
was your
tell me?
citation.
What does it tell me?
Well, I'm telling you that within populations, because each of us have a unique microbiota when it comes to the gut,
Okay.
a lot of animal-based proteins facilitate proper
Okay.
microbiome gut.
You know
You
what?
know,
I'm going to slash this in half. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics has made it clear that most humans thrive on a plant-based diet and will actually
but that's not what
reduce
I cited. So you
many of
taking
our
it.
no, I'm citing something totally different. Not what you cited. You cited one
So
study.
you can
I'm
defend your
telling you,
position.
okay, we're done. Get out of here. All right, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, one of the largest bodies of nutritionists that focus on how, not nutritionists, but professionals that focus on how diet affects your health, have made it clear a vegan diet is safe and healthy for all stages of life. Okay? They've also made a broad statement that it's safe for humans to engage in as long as they're getting everything they need. You're going on about gut issues. You know, it's interesting. The people that are having gut issues are using animal products. People that are vegan don't typically have gut issues. In fact, doctors are taking the poop of vegans and putting it in omnivorous people so that their gut bacteria can grow back, because people are destroying their guts using animals. So I don't know why you're so fixated on this one study. I just gave you 1,000 studies that contradict what you just said. You keep focusing on there's going to be a population that suffers. The population is suffering right now. Right now. And they're finding a vegan diet, or a plant-based diet, I should say, would reverse many of this and prevent a lot of it. Ugh. I'm not here to argue about health. I'm not a nutritionist. You're not a nutritionist. We're not dietitians. The point is, we can get everything from plants. If that's the case, why are we putting animals, an emotional feeling being, through a system that we wouldn't even put our worst humans through? Madame, are you over 18?
I am.
Okay. So why aren't you vegan yet?
I have Crohn's and I don't have enough small and large intestine to actually process the fiber that's in fruits and vegetables efficiently to actually make it worthwhile. I was vegan before I had my bowel restriction surgery, but after the bowel restriction surgery, I was told that it would ultimately kill me if I tried to continue on that diet.
All right, so let's say you didn't have this. Would you find that people have a moral obligation to be vegan?
I mean, I did it because I was having severe issues with my celiacs at that point, and I was at my wit's end. But the thing is that dairy I think is definitely poison. I think that there's better alternatives for protein and sustenance out there beyond dairy. But it is a very hard choice for most people to make. You can't.
Do you think that if someone is healthy, they have a moral obligation to live vegan? And maybe you don't understand why I'm asking.
I understand why you're asking, but the only morality I'm concerned with is my own. I can't speak for other people.
Yeah, that sounds like an oppressor. That's what slave owners said. I don't care what happens to my slaves. I only care what happens to me.
Nope. You may want to go ahead and check your privilege. I'm black. You may want to go ahead and check your privilege.
Okay, so because you're black, you get to oppress others?
Nope, I do not, and
Oh,
that's
good.
why
I'm glad we agree.
that is why I have the stance I do. I cannot speak for other people's morality and other people's choices.
So
I
why
can only
would I
speak for my own.
hush? Why would I ask you if it's a moral obligation to go vegan? Why would I do that? Why do you think? Why would I ask you?
Because you believe it's a moral obligation.
Okay, well, let's see if we agree. Do you think it's right to abuse animals?
No, I don't. But the thing is
Good.
that
I'm glad we agree.
well,
Do you agree that it is immoral to leave a dog in a hot car for my convenience?
my dogs have some of the best lives out of anyone.
That's not what I
I've
said.
met.
Can you answer my
No,
question?
I
If you
do
can't
not
answer
believe
my
it's right.
questions, I will move on.
If you were going to talk over me, there's no point in this conversation.
Goodbye. I don't need to talk to you. Well, looks like this person isn't here anymore. Oh, Kenny, are you still here?
I am.
Are you over 18?
I am.
Okay. Why aren't you vegan yet?
Well, the main reason is because I don't want to be, and I have it right.
Okay. Why are you up here?
Because I want to talk to you about something you said a minute ago about the farming.
Okay. So do you understand that animals are sentient?
I thought you asked me what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay. You're not here to have a conversation. I got it. Hey, Kingson.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. First of all, I want to, you remember me from the past. I want to thank you for your great job. I think you're doing an awesome job explaining and convincing us. I just want to add, I know I want to stay very long because you need opposition, but I just want to say one of the things recently I've discovered is beautiful diversity in bread. Diversity in bread. I just bought Persian bread. It's so delicious, different types. You can buy Italian breads. You can buy, I don't know, other nationality breads. There's such a beautiful diversity, and you don't have to put butter on it. You can put jam on it. I love bread and jam. For breakfast is good.
Yeah.
And there's so many different types of jam. So many. Have you ever had fig jam? Like FIG. Fig jam is very delicious.
Yes, I love fig jam. Have you ever had like pepper jelly?
No, I gotta
Yeah.
try that.
Yeah. Sometimes they mix some fruit with some peppers, so you get this like mix of sugar and spice on the toast. It's really good.
If there is, I don't know where you are, but if there is a Persian store near anywhere in your city, check their breads. Their
Okay.
breads are awesome and they make it fresh and the variety. At least they have one of the Persian breads because they're
I'm sure I
so
do.
delicious. Yeah, try that.
I
Try
live
that.
in a special corner of our world. They seem to have every nationality of restaurant here, and we also have the most vegan restaurants per capita. So I'm very lucky. I will definitely look out for some Persian bread because I am a bread fiend. I love bread. Even though
And they make it huge for you.
oh, I love it. I've
They
recently
make
been
it one piece.
I've been trying recently to actually reduce my bread intake because I eat so much bread because I love it. But it's starting to give me a little acne because I'm eating too much of it.
No, bread is good. And you know
It
what?
is
Try
really good.
this. And when you buy it, it's so fresh. You just eat it in the car. That's how
Yeah.
delicious it is.
Oh, I
That's how
love fresh
delicious.
bread. Yeah, especially when it's got
So
that
bread,
crust on the outside.
yes. And even if you put it in the fridge, and after that, you can just put it in the toaster to just warm it up. You don't have to do much more. Just warm it up, and it's delicious. And you know, when I was a kid, I used to put rice, cooked rice, inside the bread. Make a bread rice sandwich.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. You know, you could do that with any kind of like a stew or something thick that you mix. You could put that on bread. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh, I
And
think
I
I know
used
what
to
I'm
make.
gonna have for lunch today. Yeah.
Well, from Canada, I just want to say that, and I just want to say you're doing a great job. Continue to do
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I'll from the time to time I'll just pop in to say hi
Yeah.
and encourage you to continue because yes, we have a long way to go, but I think it's a reality is eventually we're not going to be able to sustain meat in our on our planet. We're just not going
Yeah.
to be able to.
Yeah. No.
And whether we like it or not, I won't be around. Maybe 50 years from now, they're going to be looking at telling people we don't have any more beef or it's so expensive you cannot buy it.
Yeah.
And I know in Canada, beef is so expensive right now that most people even pass on it
Yeah.
because it's so expensive. It's just not worth it. It's just you can buy a lot of other goodies and fruits and jams. So many different jams out there.
Yeah. There
And
are.
and you can make even the Persian foods. You can make them without the meat. They're still delicious. Do you like eggplants?
I haven't eaten them lately, but I used to cook with them a lot.
Yeah, if they're fried in Persian food, they are delicious. They use
Yes.
eggplants or zucchini, skin them or peel them, and then fry them in vegetable oil with turmeric. Problem with North America, and I don't mean to be offensive, please don't take it, but people are not used to seasoning. They just,
Yeah.
if you get used to know how to cook with lots of seasoning, you can make variety of food, and you don't need meat.
Yeah. Yep. So true. I agree. I have a lot of people tell me that vegan food is flavorless. I'm like, that just tells me you don't know how to season. Just
You
season.
don't know. You don't know how to eat it.
Yeah.
That's why I said Persian food. There's at least 6 or 7 Persian dishes you can make, and they're made with rice. And you don't have to add meat. You can just remove the meat, put beans instead, or something, and they are
Yeah.
delicious. One is a lemon pepper dish that you put it right on rice. And this lemon pepper dish, only ingredients you don't really need to have is meat. You can just take that out, and it's still a lemon pepper meal with beans. And you can there's also soups you can make with chickpeas. Yeah,
Yeah.
chickpeas. They're so delicious.
Yep. So simple. Yep.
Okay. Well,
I
I gotta
agree.
go, and I want to just thank you and thank you very much for your good work.
Thank you, Kingson. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you for all your
Bye
kind
bye.
words. Bye. That was sweet. I did need that. Thank you. Air softer. Hey, are you over 18?
Yeah.
What year were you born?
Say what?
What year were you born?
90.
Oh, JJ. Are you vegan?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Why aren't you vegan yet?
Um, well, I'm not vegan. Bit too busy for that.
Too busy?
Well, I mean, no, truthfully, I don't agree with it.
What don't you agree
Just
with?
from a spiritual standpoint.
I don't know what that means.
Well, like from a spiritual standpoint, I believe that plants also do have a soul. So,
Do you care about their welfare?
the welfare of plants? Yeah.
Okay. Do you care if they suffer
Yeah. From the if
and
I'm
you're
eating
still
them, yeah.
using animals?
Yeah, so
So
I
who
believe
what
that
do the animals eat?
plants.
So more of your feeling sentient friends are being forced into existence to be fed to animals that you then also again steal the sentience from?
I mean, no, I think that from a spiritual standpoint, like animals have a soul, right?
Do plants have a
So
soul?
I believe so too.
Okay, so
So,
again, you're compounding the harm you're causing. Animals eat more plants than a person.
well, from a spiritual integral standpoint,
Is your spiritual perspective to increase your harm to the max?
it's not about harm exactly, because if you're gonna eat a plant, you're still causing harm. If you're gonna eat an animal, you're still causing
But
harm.
you're making more harm because you have to feed the animal plants.
I understand that,
I
right?
don't
So
think you
there's
do because you came up here saying you care about plants and then you're like, but I eat animals that eat way more plants than a person.
well, I mean, it's
So
both.
you
It's
don't
all
care
about
so you
balance.
don't care about plants.
I do.
Then why are you causing them to suffer?
So it's not about suffering. It's about a
You
spiritual
said you
exchange.
care if they suffer. You said that. You said, I care. I said, do you care about their welfare? You said yes. And I said, do you think that we should care about their suffering? You said yes. Why are you causing them more suffering if you care about their suffering?
So if I were to eat a plant, I mean, it would be the same exact thing as an
Again,
animal eating a
humans
plant.
eat fewer plants. So are you saying that because plants feel pain, you might as well maximize your harm?
I don't think it's about maximizing the harm. I think
But
it's
you
about
are. That's what you're doing. So 83% of our agricultural land, that's land that we can grow food on, is dedicated to raising animals and their food. We could feed 10 billion people on a fraction of our current agricultural land. We could feed 10 billion people on a third to a quarter, all plants. And we would grow way fewer plants. I mean, like the size of America and Brazil combined. That's how much land we would save.
yeah. I mean, I agree, right?
I just
If
don't
you
believe you that you truly think that plants can suffer. I don't believe you.
okay. I mean,
I think you're lying.
okay.
Okay.
I mean, at least I would like to make my final point.
Yeah, but I
Um,
might kick you afterwards because you don't sound like you're being an honest actor.
okay. Well, I apologize. I mean, I understand your point of causing more harm with plants and animals. My main thing is, I think it comes down to a spiritual integral point of if there is a soul agreement between a plant and an animal to have a fair energy exchange, I think
Fair?
that's a soul.
The plant doesn't have preferences. They don't care. They don't have a preference to be treated well. They don't care. Animals, on the other hand, do, and you cannot reliably get consent from them.
I mean, that's going off.
You're using their body for your sensory pleasures without their consent. Does that sound moral?
I mean, I think
Does that
it's
sound
a
moral?
matter
Does
it's
that
a
sound
matter of
moral? Does that sound moral?
it depends on the soul agreement. So
So
yes,
if I have a soul agreement with an unconscious person, they don't know what's going on. I just in my head I'm like, "Oh, I thank you for the sacrifice," and I grape them. Is that moral?
well, that goes
I
off
had a
the
soul
assumption that
agreement. I had a soul agreement with them, dude.
I think
Is
that
it
goes
moral?
upon the assumption that plants aren't conscious.
Dude, I'm done talking to you. You're so all over the place. Your logic is not there. You're like, plants feel pain, but I don't. I care, but I don't care. And I have a soul agreement with animals, even though they can't consent. So it's really just me telling myself it's okay. What? That's gross, dude. That's what oppressors do. They have a little agreement in their head that this is okay. They demean their victims and say the victims actually like it. The victims aren't aware of it. Like, gross. Watch what you're saying. Hey, period, are you over 18?
Yes.
No, you're not. Rice, are you over 18?
I am.
Okay. Why aren't you vegan yet?
I used to be.
So why were you vegan back then?
Because I didn't agree with like the factory farming aspect of things, and I knew that was the majority of what I consumed, and so I did it for health reasons, but also because I didn't agree with it.
Environmental
But
and
then,
health.
yeah,
Okay. That's more
but then
plant-based, but
about 4 years ago is when I started eating meat again, simply due to my father moving in with me, and rather than making different meals and stuff like that, I went ahead and started eating meat again, simply because I realized that no matter what I do to try to avoid the factory farming, um, every bit of my money, whether it's tax dollars or just simply buying, normal means of things, I would be endorsing these companies that also endorse the factory farming. Um,
you
and
heard of a
so,
whole food plant-based diet?
yeah, but I mean, like, even if I were to go organic and stuff like that,
I didn't
those
say organic.
companies,
I didn't say organic. I said whole food plant-based.
what is that?
This means whole foods like beans, rice, fruits, vegetables, canned
Yeah,
fruits and vegetables, frozen fruits and vegetables, like just whole
right,
foods that are plants. So eating those instead of buying vegan meats or vegan cheeses or whatever
sure.
brand name you're thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, I did all that. I mean, I still do all that.
No, but you
But
said
it,
the reason why you went back to consuming animals is because you felt this futility, right? You felt like you were still paying the bad people, right?
in a way, yeah, it was that, but it
So,
was also,
so you won't
you
be
know,
paying the bad people if you eat a whole food plant-based diet.
right, but you still have to buy those things from the producers.
I mean, you could go find a farm if you want and talk to
Yeah, I
them
could, but
directly.
right, but that's the thing is,
I mean, where are you buying your animal products from then?
yeah, like now
Yeah.
from grocery stores or local mart stuff like that. But that's what I mean
Okay.
is like your
So,
corn
do
and
you
your
understand that animal products are owned by like 10 companies and like vegetables are owned by thousands? There's so many different, companies
yeah.
that own so you're paying into big animal ag and claiming that when you buy plants, you're paying into big plant ag when it's such a tiny fraction.
Well, it's even more than that. It's like your tax dollars, right, or the clothing that you buy, or any
So,
of
so
that stuff.
because your tax dollars are going to animal agriculture, it's okay for you to continue to demand more animals go through the system.
Well, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with factory farming. I don't. I
But you're buying
wholeheartedly do
animal
not.
flesh from the store. That's factory farming.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, to an extent, yeah. I
So,
don't
how do
buy
we tell these
specific
companies?
brands. And,
How do we tell these companies we don't like what they're doing?
well, I agree with what your statement is going to be, which is don't support them, right? But that's what I'm saying is it's extremely hard to not support them
It's
because
not though.
they
I've
have
been vegan
they have a
9 years.
hand in a
It's
lot.
very easy.
Well, I also, like when I got my hunting license and stuff like that, and then you look into the system, and I don't hunt, mind you, but I did obtain my hunting license, and just going through all of that and seeing how the money goes back into helping wildlife and things like
Tiny,
that.
tiny fraction. Most of it is your tax dollars.
Well, actually, all of your hunting license, and when you go and buy tags,
Yeah, but
all
that's
go
a
back
tiny
into.
fraction, is what I'm telling you. It really is not much of anything. The only reason why these parks do that is because they keep losing their funding, so they keep trying to find ways to continue revenue. Hunting is just a recreational sport for someone to go pew pew someone in their home. Isn't
So
that
can I
terrible?
ask you? Can I ask you? It is terrible. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Would you be cool, like, if you were like living, off the grid and had your own land and stuff like that, and you raised your animals right, and ultimately you know that they are going to meet an end, right? But you do it out of respect, and I already know what you're going to say. Of like, how can you respect something if you're going to take its life? But just hear me out. Do you think that that's wrong, or are you against the factory farming, or are you just totally against all of it to
If
begin
I
with?
were that cow, I would not want a knife across my throat.
But inevitably, it's going to happen.
Why? Have you not
Well, you
heard of a
think about it, like,
sanctuary?
yeah, but if we just opened up all farming gates and allowed cows to roam free, do you
I
realize
didn't
how many
say that.
accidents?
I didn't say that.
Right, but so
Do you want to know what my idea would be if the world went vegan overnight?
what's that?
Okay, so my idea would be we don't let them procreate anymore because right now we've domesticated them, right? That's a handicap. We've taken out their natural tendencies to be able to care for themselves. Much like a human that's maybe mentally handicapped, that maybe can't take care of themselves, they're going to need care for the rest of their lives, but they still have, rights to their autonomy and rights to not be exploited. Animals are the
Okay.
same. So my idea is that we take the funding, our tax dollars. Again, if the world went vegan overnight, everyone has the idea that they don't want to exploit animals anymore. They would care about their experiences. So we could put our tax dollars towards caring for who's here right now. And honestly, the numbers would drop drastically within the first 8 years, like as the 8 years goes on, because chickens only live to be 8 to 10. And the way that we've bred them, their bodies would not hold out that long, or at least majority wouldn't. So we'd lose billions within those first 8 years. And the longest lived would be the cows. And even they don't live very long because of what we've done to them. But we could care for them in that time. And after 20 years, after they've naturally passed on their own, no knives in throats, we wouldn't have any more domesticated animals. And we could focus on human problems. And we would reduce our land use by 75%. I don't know if you know that.
Are there wild cows?
There are some of their ancestors that are still roaming around, yeah. Not over here.
Like a buffalo or
Yeah,
like
stuff
what are
like
you
that.
talking about?
I don't
that's
really
what
know
I'm
much
referring
about the
to.
cow ancestry except for they didn't produce milk like this and their flesh wasn't like this and they were much more resistant to being farmed. That's all I know about them.
Yeah. Well, I just look at it like, if we stop the deer hunting and stuff like that, the overpopulation, it would destroy vegetation.
You didn't hear me
as well
about
as
the land use. So if we stop farming animals, we would reduce our agricultural land use by 75% and still feed 10 billion people. That means all those monocrops that we're worried about, all the fertilizer that's being put on them, don't have to do it anymore. We could let that land rewild, let the nature take over, or give it back to the original stewards, or have humans stretch out a little bit, like that's the land equivalent size of all of America and Brazil combined. That's how much land we would save from not farming animals.
But how do you look at it from like a predatorial instinct, right? Like a lion is not going to choose a salad over a steak, right?
You're not a lion. You're a moral agent, someone that I can communicate with. You know that morality has complexity. You can weigh out what's right and wrong. And as a moral agent, we have a responsibility to not take advantage of moral patience. People or individuals that are sentient that may not understand morality. Children are an example, right? Why would we not want to exploit children?
Yeah, I get it.
Well, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we exploit children? Why is that wrong?
Because they're innocent.
Because what?
They're innocent.
Right, they're innocent, but they're having a subjective experience. There's someone in there, right? They want to avoid harm. They prefer to be comfortable. They prefer to keep living.
Antelope. So does an antelope to a lion.
Okay, but the lion I can't reason with, right? If I could communicate with a lion and I could say, hey, eat this instead, I would. But I'm not in that situation. I'm here talking to you because humans I can communicate with. And lions, there's like maybe thousands of them left right now, right? Maybe. There's billions of us. I think we need to control ourselves before we start telling other animal nations what to do, right? Wild mammals make up 4% of the total mammal biomass on our planet. 4. So when you go out hunting, you're taking out what tiny natural life we have left. I know you said you don't hunt, but when you're pushing for hunting, like for deer, this wildlife number I'm giving you is not just deer, by the way. It's lions, it's tigers, it's monkeys, it's all these other animals as well. All wild mammal biomass is only 4% of our whole planet. 4%.
So let me ask you this.
So if we eliminate animal ag, we could grow the wildlife in a safe manner away from humans.
But don't you think that, do you agree with that it was necessary at first, like for civilization, for
I don't care what was necessary. Maybe it was, but it's not necessary now. It's not necessary now.
I agree. Now, from an agricultural perspective, like, horses, mules, donkeys, cows, and stuff like that, we can use them, go back to the Amish days.
Yeah, but do you think it's fair to them? Do you think it's
fair?
fair?
No, that's what I was going to ask you.
Right, it's not fair.
Like, but do you have dogs?
I don't have dogs. I do have a companion cat.
Do you agree with people having pet dogs?
So I understand the word pet is just a general term that we use for having an animal with us, but it comes
Mhm.
across as we're buying animals like stuffed toys, and
Well, the
I
reason
think
I
that's
ask is
wrong.
because
But if
of the
you,
genetic mutation for dogs,
right, so
right? Some are bred
if
for.
let me explain. I have an explanation for you. So I do think it's wrong to like go to a breeder or to go shopping for an animal like they're an accessory. That is immoral. You're thinking of yourself and your own pleasure. If you have
Mhm.
the ability to provide someone a rich life and you find someone you can give that life to, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like adopting a child. I don't see my companion as my entertainment. I see them as somebody that I'm providing a life for, and I'm trying to make their life rich while they're here. So I'm
No,
not
I know, but like
shopping for myself. So I don't think it's
dogs like
right
to
to
do
have
work,
pets. It's okay. I don't want to make a dog work. If I took a dog home,
but they
they're like
like
a
to though.
child. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
fine.
some
If it's
dogs.
in their best interest, right? It's their
Yeah.
best interest that we're considering, not mine. If they enjoy chasing
Right.
a ball, that's fine. They enjoy doing some tricks, like I can teach them things and they enjoy it, that's fine. But if I'm
Well, kind of what
teaching
I'm
them
getting down to is, some animals like to be worked, right? They're designed to do these things,
not to
like
be
horses.
exploited,
Not
not
to
to
be
be
exploited,
exploited,
no.
they like to play. They're like
Yeah, not
children, okay? So
yeah,
children, you can also get them to do labor. You could claim they like it too because they like getting money. Do you think child
yeah,
labor
yeah,
is
yeah.
fair?
No, no,
Right.
I know what you're saying. I'm
Well,
simply stating
okay,
that
so if
some
child
animals.
labor is not fair, why do you think it's fair for the dog?
Well, it's not, but that's what I'm saying. Some dogs enjoy it, is what I'm getting at. So, but what I'm simply stating is that, like, if we completely separate ourselves from animals, right, and allow them to just live naturally,
So
and
again,
completely.
you're going back to this natural thing. We domesticated them. All we can do now is give them the rich life. They live among us. They live this kind of life, okay? Just
Yeah.
take care of them until they pass. That's it. Don't breed them. That's
No,
it.
yeah, I got that. I got that much as far
What are
like
you going
natural
on
selection.
about then? What are you defending?
Well, I'm simply stating that, if we completely cut ties with them, but some of them
No,
enjoy
no, no.
doing certain
Again,
things.
why would we cut ties? Again, we would care for who is here right now. Do not procreate.
Yeah.
Why are we cutting ties? Unless you mean after they naturally pass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so after they pass, you think we still need them?
No, that's not what I'm saying. So like dogs, for example, right? Like let's say if we use the same logic that you have, where we, neuter them to where they can't procreate anymore, and we let the ones live, have a happy, prosperous life. You do realize that like you have now removed a complete entire genus of a species, and now you
So
just
what?
revert back to wild dogs. But this is
So
what I'm
what?
saying is things would run rampant that you can't even imagine.
You think that us having dogs is what keeps wolves from overpopulating?
No, but no, but what I'm saying is with that logic, if we cut ties, now I'm using that
Oh
word
my God.
generically. I'm
Stop.
using the word. I'm
Stop.
using the word.
Stop. 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 This scenario is so, you're going back and forth. You're like, I'm not saying this, but I am saying this. So after the animals are gone, no more dogs. They are not here anymore because we've let them pass on their own. What are the negative effects of that? Tell me.
It's not that there's negative effects. What I'm getting at is when you have, like let's say your backyard is used as a garden or whatever, you are going to have predator animals that are going to approach it, and by your
So
logic,
because
you
we have
cannot.
dogs, they keep the predator animals at
Yes.
bay?
Yes.
I don't have a dog, dude. Nobody,
I know. But
like,
there
what
are dogs that
the,
are bred to keep bears away. There are dogs that are
but
bred to keep.
you don't understand that we have technology now. We don't need the
Right.
animals.
You
We can
do.
build
You
walls.
do.
We can improve their habitats. Like, this is such a
Right, but
silly straw
in
man.
order for
Such a
you to
silly
build those
straw
things,
man. No, no, no.
in
So I
order for
want to
you,
reiterate what I understand you're saying. We have pets. We've bred actually the wildness out of dogs. So we have dogs to protect us from wild animals. And what I'm suggesting is that we stop having all these domesticated animals, just use technology to protect ourselves, build walls, and improve other nature habitats. And you're saying, no, the animals will come and attack us. What? We have so much technology. This is such a silly excuse. We don't need pets. My cat does not defend me. That is hilarious. I can't believe this is why you aren't vegan.
It's not why I'm not vegan.
Why aren't
I'm
you
not
vegan? Because I don't care about any of this. This is all ludicrous.
I'm not.
Why aren't
I'm not
you vegan?
for health reasons. Because I'm a man and I don't want estrogen pushed into my body.
Okay, that's propaganda. You're drinking the Kool-Aid right now. That's propaganda. They have studies. Yes, it is.
I was less healthy as a.
Yes, you didn't know how to eat. Go try the vegan Dailey Dozen, okay? The nutritionfacts.org goes over studies. This is science-backed. This isn't someone's opinion. This is study-based. They go over the studies that prove what is healthy. And they even talk about animal products. They go over studies of animal products. I strongly suggest you go and read those and watch the videos, okay? I think we're done here, though, because you're very focused on really random things. I don't even think that you're really following your own logic. Like, we went from environment back to health, and your health doesn't even make sense because we've already gone over the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics has made it clear, as you know, we can get everything we need from plants. Just because you effed up doesn't mean that the vegan diet is effed up. That means you don't know how to feed yourself. Go check out the vegan Daily Dozen. I guarantee you weren't getting everything you needed. Oh no, Ben, is somebody harassing you? A third account? Wow. Somebody is dedicated to being in here. The lionfish issue. Oh my God. You guys, why do we have to be a part of fixing invasive species? Nature is going to change. It happens. What we can do is reduce our impact. We take away animal agriculture. We free up all this space for all of these animals to take over. All this room. We don't have to worry about invasive species. And a lot of them are because of us. Those situations we should clean up. We can use birth control. We can relocate individuals, you know, like there are other things we can do, but everyone's so fixated on pew-pewing because it's fun and you get tasties out of it, but you're not considering that there's someone that's going to lose everything for that. And if we were them, that's the point. If we were them, would such hostile, you know, treatment be tolerated? Humans are currently overpopulating. We are an invasive species. So are we now morally justified to pew-pew humans that are spreading disease and causing problems? No. Because if we were them, we would want the same dignity of respect. Jason Poole. By the way, Ben, thank you so much for being in there. I understand, though, if you get burnt out. So don't
how's it going?
feel bad if you need to leave. Hey, Jason, are you over 18?
Yes, I'm 39.
Okay, so why aren't you vegan yet?
Well, because I actually own a farm and I'd like to show you a little video clip
No,
of it.
I don't want to see your camera. Thank you. That's okay. I understand.
Oh, you don't want to see it?
No.
Come on, watch.
No, I don't want to see it. It's probably going to be your junk, and I don't want to see how small it is. Is it Anatoly?
Yeah, hello, what's up?
Hey, are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
Okay, why aren't you vegan yet?
I have three main reasons.
Okay.
My first reason is, you can't run a car with water. I'd become probably very frustrated and then.
I didn't mean to mute you. I was trying to mute myself, but that's kind of hilarious. Go ahead.
Yeah, number two, God has, created me to enjoy my life, and I am going to enjoy it to the fullest if I can. And number three, I would say this is the game of the elites. Before they needed, strong men and warriors.
So basically, might makes right.
I would just say before, they needed warriors to invade.
Might makes right?
Sorry?
Might makes right? Is that moral? If I'm strong enough to do what I want to you, it's moral for me to do what I want to.
I don't trust elites. Do you?
You don't trust elites?
Yeah. Do you?
Know that,
I don't think anyone.
Do you know that animal ag is run by like a handful of companies?
Yeah, but
Okay, so
if
aren't those the effing elites that you're giving money to?
yeah, and let me just make my point.
So you're not
So they
consistent, is what I'm hearing.
1 second, no. So they're transitioning. In other words, the elites they don't need strong men anymore. They just need people that listen to them. And
The elites want you to eat animal products.
no, not anymore. They don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. They don't
Yes, they
need.
do.
They don't need strong people
Yes, they
anymore. They
do.
just need.
Okay. I don't care to talk to people about conspiracy theories, okay? Big plant is out to get you. It's ridiculous, guys. Come on. Just look up how much money animal ag puts into commercials alone versus plant agriculture. Please do that research. Tell me how much money goes into animal ag. That means how many times you're seeing a poster, a billboard, a commercial, some sort of ad telling you that you can't make friends, that you can't be healthy, you can't be successful unless you use animal products. Tell me that's not propaganda. Tell me. Like, you guys are hilarious. I don't want to support, because you're thinking of Bill Gates specifically, but you know that he eats animal products, right? He is invested in animal products as well. He wants you to eat either side. That's what investors do. They put money on both sides so they get your money either way. So you guys are hilarious. You think that you're so smart, dodging these elites by eating the products they want you to eat. You can eat a whole food plant-based diet, silly. You can eat whole foods. You're not supporting any of them. You could support your local farmer, but you'd rather go to the grocery store and lick someone's insides and ignore the fact that you demanded someone's oppression. If it were you in that cage, I'd be here defending you. It's disgusting that you're sitting here defending slicing someone's throat open because it gives you pleasure. That's what a grapist says. I don't care that my victim is suffering. I'm getting pleasure. I'm getting sensory pleasure, and that's all I need, and that makes my life rich. Sensory pleasure does not morally justify violating someone's body. Sorry, guys. I need water. I keep drinking coffee. Ash. Hey, are you over 18?
Yeah.
Okay, so why aren't you vegan yet?
Because I don't see. Can I start it off by asking you a question? Because it kind of
If
ties
it's a
into why I
clarifying
don't.
question, that's fine.
It is a
But okay.
yeah. I think it is. Sorry, I just got over the pandemic and I'm still coughing and stuff.
I'm very sorry. That sucks.
How do we define personhood?
Well, I know there's a definition that strictly says humans, but to me, a person is an individual having a subjective experience.
Okay, and then that would be like across the board.
Yes.
Anything that is capable of having a subjective experience.
Subjective experience. Yes. That means they
Okay.
can experience emotions, subjective emotions like fear, joy, pain. They have a central nervous system to express sentience.
Okay. So I think that is the reason why I'm not a vegan, is because I don't necessarily agree that across the board in that sense everything has personhood, because
That's fine. You
a
don't need to.
chicken. No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying
Oh, no,
that's
I
why
didn't
I'm
say you
not,
were. I was
because I
saying,
don't.
in order to be vegan, you don't necessarily need to think of animals as people. That's not vegan.
Okay.
Veganism is just recognizing that animals are sentient and not using them. That's it.
Okay, I do recognize them with sentience. I also think everything we have on Earth has a purpose, you know? The entire global
I mean,
ecosystem
slaves had a purpose.
is okay, but I'm saying like the entire slaves aren't natural though.
Oh,
That was something
you
that
think farming
humans.
is natural?
Yes, because that goes all the way back
Humans
to.
created farming. Anything that humans make is not natural, by definition.
Okay, you did get me on that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But our whole globe, it's a giant ecosystem, you know. There's a hierarchy of animals, you know, some
So
animals eat others,
I
some plant
understand, but
species.
are you saying that you care about ecosystems?
I do care about ecosystems, which is why I think
So
I'm going to go
animal
back
ag
to
is like the leading cause of biodiversity loss. Like we're
I
destroying ecosystems so we can make room for pastures and monocrops to feed animals.
I can't, so I don't shop, like when I buy my meat, I don't go to grocery stores. So I live near an ocean. The only fish that I eat is fish that I go and like catch off the pier or off the beach. That's the
You
only
know that
fish
we're
that I eat.
destroying our oceans right now, right? Like there will be no fish
I
in
do.
like 20 years.
Yeah.
So you're taking what little life there is left in the ocean.
It, little, I feel like is also kind of,
You
it's
can
little
eat
in terms of
plants.
our
You don't need to
consumption of
take their
it.
life. Fish care about what happens to them. They have hierarchies. Some of them play with
Hmm.
tools, like they use rocks to crack open things.
Hmm.
A lot of them, they all care what happens to them. So if that's the case and you can eat something else, why are you pulling someone out of their living space, making them suffocate, and then slicing them open?
Because I don't see it as like, yes, I would be ending an animal, but I'm not seeing that as something that is like
They're sentient.
there's yeah, well,
That's all
I'm
that
trying to figure out
matters.
how to like word it
Let me put it this way.
because obviously
Let me
there
put
is
it this way.
difference.
Let me put it this way. We have humans. All humans are very different, right? Obviously, we have similarities, but we're also very
Mhm.
different. All different body types, all different cognitions, all different intelligences. We even have some people that you could argue are not sapient. They're just sentient. You know? So we have animals that are more intelligent than humans, and we're still systematically farming and unaliving them, but we would find that just not even tolerable if we did that to the humans I just described. Because that human we care about only because we look like them. We recognize ourself in them. We know that if we were them, we would want our dignity respected as well, right?
Mhm.
But it doesn't matter that they give back to society. It doesn't matter if they can build a skyscraper. It doesn't matter if they're even able to reciprocate morality. We still find it immoral to exploit that human. So I'm telling you, the animals have the same qualifiers. They just have a different shaped body. That's it.
So I think where the reason it doesn't affect me personally, like
I mean, it
my
doesn't
because there
affect
is
anybody who's the
differences
oppressor.
in
You're benefiting.
there is differences in morality on what you do to animals.
Do
Obviously,
you
we would
think it's
say if
immoral?
you
Do you think it's immoral to lock a dog in a hot car?
yeah.
Do you think it's immoral if I was to go to the park and I'm just having a great day? I am able to grab a squirrel and I shove them underwater until they suffocate. And then I take them home, clean them up, and eat them. Do you think that's moral?
Yes.
You
No,
think
no, no,
that's
no, no.
moral?
No, no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. No, no, no. The last question was immoral. This one was moral. I answered fast, sorry.
That's fine. So me, yeah, taking the squirrel, shoving them underwater, that's immoral, correct?
Hmm.
Okay. And the leaving the dog in a locked car, that's also immoral, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you do care about these individuals and their experiences, even if they're not as rich as ours, right?
Yes.
Right. So what I'm saying is you're doing the same thing to the animals just behind us cement wall. Or the fish that you take out. I don't know if you eat any
Mhm.
other animal products, but the fish you're even taking out, you're just ignoring the fact that they are suffering because they almost look alien to us, right? They don't react exactly how like mammals or you and I react, but we have studies, behavioral studies, and even anatomy studies that show they're actually more like us than we thought. They even have what are called nociceptors, which are the nerve endings in our skin that tell us when we're experiencing excruciating pain. And the fish
Mhm.
have them too. So when they're
So that's
suffocating,
where I
that's how it
think
would
there
feel to
is a
us.
big
Go ahead.
that's where I think there is a big difference between I know you're not necessarily going to agree with me on this, but like the way most like family run farms or like Amish farms, they have much more humane practices with things.
It doesn't
They're
matter.
not looking at it as, but that's where I'm saying
Okay,
I think
so
there is a difference between
you're the
mass
most free
producing animal
range.
products
You are
and
right now the most free range animal. Is it fair if I come up behind you and pew pew you without you even knowing it? Is that fair to you? You have no pain.
it's not fair, but
But
that's
you've
my
had a
point. There's
great
no
life.
pain in it.
You've had a great life. So is it
Hmm.
okay for us to go
I'm
ahead and
not
just...
gonna miss I'm not gonna miss
Well, of
the
course you
life
won't
though.
miss
If you're
because you're going to
doing
be
an
unalived. But
animal,
does that mean now that unaliving humans is justified for taste pleasure?
no, because obviously we can't eat humans. There's
We can't.
diseases you can get that will kill you.
No, eating human flesh is just as dangerous as eating animal flesh. As long as you cook it and it's not infected, you'll be fine.
Okay.
I know it's crazy, but we used to be called long pig. There are communities that ate us often enough that they gave us a nickname. My
I
point
just think
is that it sounds actually like you understand where I'm coming from and you actually agree
mhm,
with me. You know, causing an animal, even if they have a less rich experience, causing them unnecessary harm is immoral. And if you can avoid
100%.
harming them, you would. So
Hmm.
I'm just saying, for your food choices, all you have to do is move your hand. All you have to do is buy the plant-based products, and you could actually you could prevent 100 to 300 animals from going through that atrocious system. And that's huge. Imagine if you could save 10 dogs from the dog meat industry, right? You'd be a hero,
Hmm.
right? You could save 10 times that, though, just by going vegan, even easier.
Hmm. So this is where I think, and again, I don't have anything against vegans or vegetarians. My sister's a vegetarian, so like I understand. Like
Vegetarians are still
my
demanding
sister,
cows. So dairy is actually one of the most atrocious systems out there. They have to grape the cow either with another cow or with their own arm, and most often it's their own arm. And they often will
I have watched. I know how all that works.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they do artificial insemination. So they force her to be pregnant. She doesn't get to choose. They decide for her and who she gets to mate with if she's mating with someone. And after 9 months, she has a baby. 9 months, just like a human. They're bonding. While she's pregnant, she's bonding with that baby, just like a human would. After she
Hmm.
gives birth, she produces milk, right, for the baby. But
Hmm.
we want that milk. So we have to take the baby away in order to obtain the milk. The baby will drink too much. So
I
any
will
kind
say
of,
I don't eat any dairy products,
well, your friend, you might
cheese,
want to let
milk,
her know,
anything. My
you know,
sister.
your sister, I'm sorry, let your sister know that she's demanding cows be graped so that, and their babies stolen so that she can drink baby formula.
Hmm.
You know, it's meant for a baby
So
cow. Go ahead, sorry.
I do agree with you about the dairy industry. I have a lot of problems with that.
Yeah.
But the thing I think that as a society we should focus on if we're caring about the livelihood of the animals is instead of trying to get all these companies shut down, I think the more
It's on the companies. I'm focused on you.
plausible the more plausible change that we could impose is that there have to be better regulations on what they are and aren't allowed to do,
Yeah,
because
okay,
I
how do you
agree
get
with you
regulations
that
passed?
there
How do you get regulations passed? You have to have people behind that, right? So in order to get the
and that's what
people,
I'm saying.
you got to talk to people one-on-one like I'm
Hmm.
doing right now. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you that you're supporting these systems. You're the reason why they're still in business. If you remove your demand and you put it towards plant-based products, they literally reduce how many animals they breed into existence. They care where you spend your money. All these meat companies, there's only a handful of them, right, that control
Hmm.
everything. They themselves are even making vegan products because people
Hmm.
are pulling their demand away. They care that they're losing your money. So
Hmm.
you have a lot of power to say, I don't want animals to be used anymore. And I'm telling you,
Hmm.
use that power. Buy plant-based products. If you were the animal, what would you want your oppressor to do? Keep funding your oppression or stop?
To stop.
Yeah. So why not give the
That's where
animals the
also
same mercy?
I will say I don't know what that rice guy was going on about, because your tax dollars, you don't control where that goes. That's not up to you.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
also
we can tell our representatives that we don't like that, right? That's probably the best we can do is just be
Yeah, but that's
vocal.
like we can't have like a affirmative say.
Right.
I also do get, so I don't pay directly. I'll use the word directly. I'm not directly endorsing these mega corporations because there is a farm near me, and that is where I go to get all of my
I mean, where do they
animal
get their
products that I do
animals?
eat.
Where do they get
They
their
breed them
animals?
on the farm.
Yeah, but they're they're clearly genetically modified, right? They're doing the same things that factory farms do. They're making them mate with individuals they wouldn't normally mate with so that we have certain traits in their babies that make them better slaves for us. That's what every farm does because they want efficiency. I mean, isn't that already unfair to the animals, not to mention the further exploitation that we do cause them? Like that alone, you're stealing their ability to have their own families.
So this is where our differences in belief on what animals have the ability to feel comes into play, because when I
This is
see like a small
scientific.
family
This is scientific.
farm,
Cows are extremely maternal. They're probably one of the most studied farm animals, and they're currently trying to breed out their maternity because that maternity in cows makes them dangerous. They want to protect their babies.
Mhm.
Yeah, so is that fair?
No, I'm not saying that's fair.
But
But what
you're
I'm
saying it
saying
is fair to
is
further breed out her maternity.
no, because I'm saying what
You're saying because
farms.
she's not aware of it, right? She's not
No,
aware of her. Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying small source, like individual run farms, not the ones that are getting
They
funding from
all do the
people
same thing. I
that
understand that small sounds like it's better, but it's not. In fact, do you know why factory farming exists?
because small farms can't produce the amount needed.
Right. They can't do it, and they're not efficient enough. They're doing things to stay efficient because they have to make money, but they're not. The reason why animals are the way they are is because we want efficiency. They want them to grow faster, get fat faster, right? Like,
But that's where I'm saying those
what
farms,
does a small
this,
farm do that you don't think that, or what is it that they're doing that's different from the factory farming? Tell me.
I think they're not doing the selective breeding. Like, yes,
They
you put animals
are.
together when you
No, they
want them to
are.
breed,
They are. They
but they're not
absolutely
doing it.
are. What do you think like 4-H is and stuff? Like these are kids learning how to breed animals and distinguish which traits they want to pass down to the next baby. Like that's all farming. All farming is mixing genetics. It's whether you're doing it to plants or animals. Like they choose, all farmers, they choose who is out in that field. If this dream farm that you're
They
talking
do. They
about
do.
allows the
Yeah,
animals to
yeah.
mate, they're the ones choosing who gets to mate. And they do that because they're selectively breeding them. They want a specific type of meat or flesh or, excuse me, like fluids or eggs, right? They're doing, let me give you an example. Small farms. Their chickens, I guarantee, all lay eggs at least multiple times a week. The
Yeah.
original bird only laid 13 eggs a year. So no matter the farm, they keep bringing in somebody to life that has to carry this weight and drop it every once in a while and recreate it. Whereas the original only had that because they were trying to have babies, right? Not to produce unfertilized eggs.
But that's where I'm saying I don't think we can
I'm
go
talking
back in
about small
time.
farms. I'm talking about small farms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. All domesticated chickens are doing 13 some. They're laying a ton of eggs,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. They're laying
We
multiple
we
eggs a
agree.
week
Yeah.
at least. Most of them are every day. So they've gone from 13 to
Yeah.
300.
So, but that's what I think. Like, we can't go back in time and take these traits away
Of course, I'm
unless we
saying
start
take
like
care of them now.
reverse.
I'm just saying take care of them now until they pass away naturally. Don't let them procreate anymore, whatever method that is, either separating them, giving them birth control, whatever. And then because you're just birthing more handicapped individuals on purpose into existence. If we stop that, in about 20 years there won't be any more domesticated animals, and we don't have to have the conversations of whether it's right or not to use them.
So I think driving domesticated animals into extinction is a slippery slope
Why?
because it plays into eugenics. You know, we're saying these animals are handicapped
No, the
and
eugenics is us.
therefore,
No. The eugenics already happened. We've done it. We unalived the ones that were too resistant to us and we bred the more submissive ones. We've done the eugenics already right now. All the different dogs, that's eugenics. They're literally going,
it
I
is.
like these traits. So what I'm saying is, instead of playing with their DNA, stop playing with their DNA. Just love
Mm-hmm.
on them, give them food, give them a rich life, and then they'll naturally pass away. And honestly, domesticated animals are the top reason we lose biodiversity. So all those wild animals would come back. We would have more wild animals naturally living where they want to live. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if there's animals out in nature. We can have neighbors, but I don't think it's right for us to breed handicapped individuals for our benefits. That's not fair.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with what you said. I wasn't saying that we're doing eugenics on the animals. I'm saying it's working with
That I'm saying,
the
so what I'm understanding, you think that I'm saying these animals are lesser, therefore they should just die. But what I'm saying is
that
they
is how it
actually,
initially came across
yes,
to
that's
me.
not what I want at all. I want them to be cared for as the sentient individuals that they are. And we should
Mm-hmm.
recognize that we have handicapped them. And to
Mm-hmm.
allow them to produce babies means those babies will forever need care. And that's not fair to
Mm-hmm.
purposely birth someone into existence like that. That's not fair to them. So I'm saying if we stop them from procreating in about 20 years, just let them live out their lives. The longest lived domesticated animal we have are cows. And
Mm-hmm.
even then, we've messed up their anatomy so much, they probably won't even make it
They
to
don't make
20.
it that long. Yeah,
Yeah. And so after
they
that,
just
then
don't.
biodiversity in nature would blossom.
Mm-hmm.
Free animals. That would be great.
Okay, so can I ask you another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
At the start of this, I asked you how you defined what personhood was, and we talked about the subjective experiences. And I understand that you're saying, we need to care for these animals until they die naturally. We're not obviously going around pew-pewing all of them because we don't want them here anymore. Take care of them until they die naturally, and then we no longer have that modified version of the animal. So, because we knew if these mate, they're going to have this handicapped offspring. Okay, so if they in the future, let's say, are able to, I know they can already do this with some genetic disorders. If they can tell you when you're pregnant, early on in your pregnancy, that your child would have Down syndrome or XYZ genetic condition that's going to handicap them and cause them to be cared for the rest of their life, are we agreeing that we should get rid of these genetic disorders
So
from?
the difference in that case, though, is not the humans weren't trying to have a baby with this disadvantage, right? It just happened.
Mhm,
Yeah, that's
mhm.
one thing. Versus animals that we've domesticated, we've purposely done this to them. So if
We've
that
purposely
person,
done it.
yeah, we purposely handicapped these animals because it made it
Yeah.
easier to handle them.
Mhm.
So, but if we
So we
did that to
purpose.
humans, that is wrong. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But
So
so
we've
if they're doing
purposely
it,
done it with the animals,
yeah,
but we're
yeah,
saying the reason we don't want them to procreate anymore is because we know that that is going to happen.
yeah,
And
yeah.
when
So we
people
actually
who
have laws
have
for
these
people like this
conditions,
too. Do you know
Mhm.
why it's illegal in most countries for like a father to procreate with his daughter? I don't know if you know that.
I mean, it increases the rate of genetic disorders.
Right,
It's
right.
immoral, like a list of
Exactly,
things.
which is my point. So them doing that is immoral for the baby that would come out because they're going
Hmm.
to be handicapped. That's not fair. If you know ahead of time, yeah, you shouldn't do that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we should
Hmm.
stop inbreeding these animals to
Hmm.
make messed up babies.
Okay, so then people who are born and have these genetic conditions, like when
I'm
two
not
people.
saying when someone's pregnant, that's up to them what they want to do, right? I don't have a
Mhm.
blanket thing for that. Do they feel like they're going to be able to give this individual a rich life and
No, I'm
not
not
need to
talking
exploit
about. I'm
them?
sorry. I'm
Okay.
not talking about
I feel like you're
pregnancy
going.
across the
Okay,
board.
I thought you were
I'm
trying to go
saying
into
like
abortion.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
I'm simply talking about. We're talking about how animals are genetically modified from what they're I'm sorry,
Yeah. No, it's fine.
from
Are you
what
trying to
their
say like
initial
wild
purpose
animals will
was.
accidentally maybe have? Because I just don't understand how this relates to the human case. Like, what is your point?
Because I'm asking if our reason for saying that these animals no longer have a good quality of life is because we've handicapped them,
Oh, I
then
don't think that. I
even
just
though
think
we
it's
haven't,
unfair.
Yeah, because they're handicapped, and we know they're going to be born handicapped.
Yeah. Are you saying that we need to? I just don't understand your point. What's your point?
I'm just asking, if we're saying it's all on the same playing field, wouldn't it then be saying that like two people with Down syndrome who there's a much higher chance of having a child with Down syndrome? Like, I feel like that just turns into if that's the reasoning why we're not letting them have any more
They
children.
should be concerned about that. Yeah. I would be concerned if I was not able to, like, I knew I wasn't able to provide a child a rich life, or I wasn't able to give them actual care. I'm pretty sure if two people that have Downs, if they have a kid and they're not able to provide them legit care, the child will be taken away.
Yeah, so I'm saying, should we say that they're no longer allowed to have children so that that condition goes away?
I don't know what the laws are on that. I do think it's unfair if you know for sure that you're going to pass on that gene. I do think that's unfair. Yeah. You shouldn't. You can
Okay.
adopt. There's alternatives that you can do.
hmm
Yeah. Do you think
That
that's
was I was
fair?
just
Do you think it would be fair if you had a genetic disorder that like held you back and your partner had that? You think it'd be fair to have a child that had that same disorder? You want to put your child through that?
I think if knowing it was going to have the same disorder, and it's like a until the end of their life they're relying on somebody else disorder, then no. I think there's things like high functioning autism or
Of course.
Asperger's where they're able to be
I'm talking about
self-sufficient.
animals, though, where we've literally bred out their abilities to survive nature. And the reason why,
Mhm.
like, look, if some of them procreate, that's understandable. It's going to happen. But I'm saying for the
Mhm.
most part, these animals are at their numbers because we force them to mate. We force
Mhm.
them. There are so many that exist now because of us. And I think it's
Mhm.
unfair, especially because they themselves don't fully understand what they're committing to. Like, I don't think they're in their head going, I want to have a baby right now. I think they go, I have an urge to do something. So we can
Mhm.
allow them to fulfill their urges without the result of them getting pregnant. Most humans don't even understand how to get pregnant. Like, my grandmother told me a story of her sister running into the bedroom being like, oh my God, can you get pregnant from kissing someone? So I just don't think that animals understand that there's a repercussion to mating, and they just have this
Mhm.
urge to mate. So I'm not saying they don't have that they can't mate. I'm just saying they shouldn't procreate because their babies will forever need a human helping hand. And if they don't get that helping hand, that baby's most likely going to die.
Okay. I think we do, but there is a lot of stray.
Look, this is off
Um,
the topic anyway. Like, it
it
doesn't
is. We're
matter.
getting
I was
far
gonna say,
away from that.
I
I'm
really,
sorry.
it's fine. I really want to know more about why you aren't vegan. So we both recognize that animals are sentient. You even care if they can have a family. So why are you then still paying or pulling families apart when you're fishing?
Because I see a difference between humane,
So let me get this straight. Let me
humanely.
get this straight. So I'm wrong because I don't want animals to procreate because I'm worried that their babies will forever need help. But you're right
I
in
never
pulling.
said you were wrong.
Okay. So then why are you doing the wrong thing? Why are you still pulling families apart when you just expressed that it would be wrong to do that?
Because honestly, I think at the end of the day, yes, factory farming, but
No. You're
my
fishing. Even
decision
just your
would,
fishing.
yeah. So I'm saying yes, my personal decision would affect the mega corporations. It's not going to affect, the small place that I go to get my food. It's not
It
going to
matters to
affect,
that one fish. That fish cares what
yes,
happens
it
to
matters to
them.
the fish.
Right, that's all
It
I'm
does.
talking
But
about.
I'm
I don't
saying
care
that's the
about the
difference
corporations.
between,
I don't care about the
I'm
corporations.
saying
This
that's
isn't.
the difference between humanely
No, no,
ending
no, no, no.
them
No, no, no,
versus
no.
the
I don't want
housing
that.
environment.
I don't want that
They still
answer.
have a
I don't want that
natural life
answer. I don't
until
want
you
that
get
answer,
them.
Ash. Ash.
Okay, sorry.
Again,
Sorry.
you're taking out the tiny bit of wildlife we have left, saying that it's in name of not supporting the big industries, but you're really just doing the same damage as them. You're taking someone, demeaning their experiences, and saying your pleasure matters more than their entire lives. It's okay that a fish suffocates and then has a rough end because you're not supporting someone enslaving a cow. Like, that doesn't make sense. You could live vegan. You don't even need to take the time. Like, if you enjoy sitting out on a boat and you like being out in nature and that's really what it's about, you can do other things. You could take pictures, you could do magnet fishing, right? There's things you can do that don't involve ripping someone out of their home and taking their life and robbing them from their families. And if you care about that, that's what you'll think about before interfering with someone's life, just like you would a human that maybe not have full cognition, right? You wouldn't think, oh, they're not going to be really aware of it, and I'm not supporting factory farms at least. It's still wrong. That individual wanted to live.
Mm-hmm.
If you were that fish, what would you want? Would you like to be pulled out of the water, or would you like to be left alone?
If we're assuming that animals have the same like cognitive
It
experiences
doesn't
that
matter.
we do, I'd want to be
Okay,
left alone.
look, here's another example of exploitation when someone's not aware. If a lady is passed out and a dude comes up and wants to do things with her, she can't respond. She's not aware of what's going on. Is it moral for him to just do what he wants to her then because she's not aware?
No, but that's
Why
what I'm
not?
saying.
Why not?
I'm sorry.
It would disrespect the dignity of sentient life, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
ignoring the fact that there is someone living in that body and you're violating them for your pleasure. That's what oppressors do. So when you
Mm-hmm.
see a fish, you are demeaning their experience to make yourself feel better. You're saying, I have a good reason, even though you could just go to the grocery store. You don't have a good reason. You have a terrible reason. Your entertainment.
So that's where I'm asking if we're assuming that animals have the same
Again, it
cognitive
doesn't matter
experiences
if
as
they
we
have the
do.
same cognition. You keep going back to this. It doesn't matter. We have humans that are such low cognition, but we still find it immoral to exploit them. And yes, in that sense, that human I described and the fish are the same, cognitively speaking. Is it okay then
Well,
to exploit the human?
the woman's not aware.
No,
The
so the
fish,
person I'm
to my
describing,
understanding,
you're not hearing me. I changed the scenario. It can still be the lady, it's fine. But her cognition, even if she were awake, is going to be similar to the fish. May I then exploit her?
no,
Why not?
because it's not okay.
Because she's still a being living in that body, correct?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's my whole point. It doesn't matter our intelligence. It doesn't matter if we're aware of it. We all know a sentient being should be treated with dignity, and that includes violating them when they're not aware is immoral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So pulling the fish out, even if they're not fully aware of what's going on, is still immoral because you are a moral agent. You know the consequences of what you're doing. You know that you're taking someone away from their family. That's where you need to step in and stop. Stop yourself. Realize what you're doing. You know, treat others the way you demand to be treated. That's it. That's what veganism is. If I were them, I would hope somebody is abstaining from using me and hopefully even speaking up for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the bare minimum is just not exploiting them, not demanding their exploitation,
Mm-hmm.
including fishing. I know. So there's a study. Do you understand that fish feel pain?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know why I'm hammering this so hard. It just seems like you don't really, you think that fish think less of it, but they really care about what happens to them. All fish care about their experiences. That's why they fight when you're pulling on that hook. That's them showing you, I want to live. I don't consent to this. And you're saying, ha, 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 right?
Mm-hmm. But
Does
that's
that
where
seem
I'm
fair?
saying,
Do you
no,
want to be an
but
unfair person?
no, and that's where I'm saying I think the difference to me is a fish isn't
No.
looking around its environment and
Okay.
saying,
I think
"Oh,
we're done.
here's
We're done
this."
here. I really appreciate you coming up. We're going in circles. You keep referring to cognition, and I've already debunked it multiple times with the human that has the cognition of a fish. So what you're doing now is you're just being a hypocrite. You have two different opinions of the same thing, but you're contradicting because you're benefiting from one, and you cannot accept it. You want your benefit so badly. It's like a rapist. You want to grape her so badly, you just don't care about her experiences, and I'm just kind of done with it. So you need to go ponder on that, okay? Why is it okay? You just think, again, you are demeaning the fish's experience. That's what oppressors do. They demean the oppressors, or excuse me, they demean their victims' experiences and say, that animal does not care as much about their life as I care about my taste pleasure and my convenience. But they do. They care about their life just as much as you do. And I'm just tired of going in this circle. Like, you were almost on it when you were trying to, I don't disagree. There's definitely some questions about messing with animals and their reproduction. Even telling them not to mate does feel a little bit wrong to me because, you know, they're their own beings. I just feel that we've made such a situation for them that they don't really understand that they're handicapped, right? They just have urges. And I understand, and they're very intelligent, but I just don't think they go, I want to specifically have a baby. But at the same time, like, you're making a great point. I'm still infringing on their rights, just like if a human wanted to have a baby. But then you go back to the fish and you're like, I don't care. I don't care that I'm stealing them from their family. I don't care that I'm stealing their life when they clearly were fighting tooth and nail to get off the hook, or however you catch them. Yeah, they do have families. Go look it up. They have friends. They definitely remember certain individuals. I've seen people make friends with fish. Hey, Herbivorous. I can't talk today for some reason. I saw you requested. I didn't bring you up. I'm sorry. Deep breaths.
Hello.
Hi. True Investments. Are you over 18?
I am.
Okay. So why aren't you vegan yet?
Well, I'm a farmer. Well, I'm also a hunter, so we make sure that the animals are all taken care of. And we slit their throats just fine, and we take all their body parts of the dogs that we slaughter.
You think that's fair?
Well, they're just dogs.
Do you
All they do is bark.
do you recognize that animals are sentient?
Shady, what's that be?
I'm sus of you. Is this
What's
Mike?
that be?
This is Mike.
No.
Gosh dang it. Oh my God. Mike. You got me while I was all worked up. Oh my God. Hey guys.
I can't mute, so I'm gonna drop in.
Okay, I'll bring you back
Should I
up.
drop down again?
Okay. I mean, I don't mind. It's only if you have your TV on do I ever mute you. So if you don't have any sounds in the background, I don't care if you can mute or not. You can stay unmuted.
Okay. Well,
it's up to you. Whatever you want to do. I don't want to.
Let me see if I can.
Do you guys know who Mike is? Everyone should go follow Mike. Oh, it's Mike Burgundy. He's he's a great advocate for a lot of causes. He does vegan activism, trans activism. He also talks about religion. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, he's the whole package. I do appreciate him coming up and teasing me because that does lighten the mood. It makes me feel a little better. So
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll drop down and come back because my son will make a bunch of noise when he starts coming out.
Okay, sounds good. I'll bring you back up.
All right.
Hey, Herbivorous. I can't pronounce your name for some reason today. Herbivorous.
Yeah, you're good. Whatever way you want to pronounce it. It's fine.
Right. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm on a walk right now. I'm out in nature, enjoying my time.
That sounds lovely. I need to go out among the trees and such. I'm longing for nature. I've been inside a city too long.
Yes.
Hey, Lori.
You don't into nature.
Yeah, it's still not letting me.
Okay. I'll let me get my settings up.
I don't know.
TikTok just doesn't like me. I'll bring up someone though. If you guys. Ooh. Oh, I can't do it right now. Hold on. I have to do this first. Lori, where are you? There you are.
I'll drop down again.
Move. Okay, and I'll bring you back up. Oh, TikTok keeps messing up my moderators. Not cool. Not cool, man. Oops. It helps if I spell it correctly. There you are. Confirm. Oh, Herbivorous, you dropped down. Or did I accidentally kick you or something?
Wait, I'm not still here?
Oh, weird. Your icon went black. That threw me off for a second. I see. Okay. I have my guest list up now. On my main screen, though, I just have a black square. Oh, there you are. I see now if I hover over you. All right. TikTok is being fancy today. Lori, I switch you. You should be able to come back up. Oh, Ben says that it's glitchy on mobile. Okay, well, I'll try to watch the chat and let me know if if a big chunk stops. Are you ready for the next guest? I don't know if you want to just jump right in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, okay, there you are, Lori. Hey, Sal, are you over 18?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So why aren't you vegan yet?
Because I don't want to be.
Do you know what veganism is?
Yes, I do.
Explain it for me.
What define veganism? Where you like have an ethical viewpoint on animal welfare. That's my understanding.
You're kind of getting there. It's a principled stance against the exploitation of sentient beings. So it's best to our ability to avoid demanding someone's oppression.
Right, so correct me if I'm wrong. Humans are animals, right? Lions are animals, right?
I have to just point out, I really think it's funny that so many omnivores come up here and they always relate themselves to lions. Why lions? Why not like hyenas or jaguars or some other? It's always lions.
It was just an example. I'm not saying we're lions.
Because people use lions so much, it just feels like you're repeating something you've heard before. But go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone say like lions or whatever, but I was just using that for an example. Honestly, honest to God.
Humans are animals and rabbits are animals too. Can make an analogy with that.
Different types of food, don't they? So
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, well, I didn't get your point.
Yeah, well, like rabbits and humans eat somewhat the same food on different foods at the same time.
Same with lions.
Rabbits. Well, yeah, because we're omnivores. Humans are omnivores. It's a fact.
Yeah. So I think the same analogy that you were probably going to draw with the lion's case can also be drawn in the rabbit's case. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, because we eat plants and we can also eat meat. So there's a fine line, there's a grey area of meat and plant-based foods.
Do you think, like, if we have the option to not demand someone's oppression, we should choose that option?
Oppression, how? Because they're not humans, are they?
Well, regardless of whether or not they're of the species Homo sapien, they can still experience oppression, right?
Yeah, so can we.
Yeah, that's very true. And veganism stands against the oppression of humans as well because they're also sentient beings. The point I was trying to make was that despite us being a different species, the fact that sentient beings can still experience oppression warrants the idea that maybe if we can avoid causing that, then we should. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So this other side of thought, right? Lions or any type of meat eater wouldn't give a shit if they eat humans, right? They don't give a shit. So why would you?
Well, yeah, they're not moral agents, so well, it's not just that they don't give a shit. Like they're like morally bad. They're. Sorry, my phone got paused because I'm on low battery. They're amoral, right? They're not able to participate in morality. So you're kind of saying like, oh, they don't give a shit. Like they're like the same as like a rapist who could reason and rationale, like get themselves to a place where they understand why, from the victim's perspective, it's wrong, and then come to a conclusion why they shouldn't do that. But a lion can't do that same thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because we're different types of intelligence and fucking what's the word? Cultures and all that shit.
So, like, when it comes to like our ethical decision making, like maybe we should not look to lions' perspectives to guide that sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but yeah, it's all different like cultures. Like, isn't it like India does that? They don't eat like cows and shit, and like other places do, and
Yeah,
like
but that's just like appealing. That's appealing to the idea that like those cultures do those things currently, and yeah, I know that. Like I know that occurs, but we're saying that if we have the option not to do that, then we shouldn't, basically.
yeah, and it's like things clash all the time. Like, I'm not a vegan, but I do understand vegans' viewpoints, and it should be dealt differently. But I'm still gonna eat them no matter what a vegan says.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like a dog fighter, like rationalizing and understanding like why it's wrong to make dogs fight against their will without their consent, like to the unalivement, and then going, well, but no vegan activist is going to tell me otherwise, so I'm just going to keep exploiting those dogs. Like, how do you feel about something like that?
Or it's like boxing. Why would we hit each other? Because like in
Well,
boxing, but
humans are
boxing can
consenting
kill
to that.
people. So
Human,
why would we want
humans are
boxing in the world?
Yeah. So humans are consenting to that, and non-humans cannot consent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter because even though they can consent, some people do get killed or become heavily like disabled or have long life conditions with the brain or whatever.
Yeah, but they also consented to taking that risk, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter because it's like, yeah, he consented, yeah, I'm fine with it, but it's still more or
Yeah,
less
it definitely
wrong.
causes damage, and but the whole point is they knew going into that like fight or whatever. I don't know if you can say that on TikTok, but they knew going into that they there's like a big chance that that could happen. So they are aware of that. Whereas non-humans who are being like put in a location against their will and not being able to be told or informed on what's happening and then being forced to fight another dog to the unalivement, that there's no consent of any kind, right?
Well, because we do it to our own species, so
No,
like
we don't. Wait, what do you
human
mean?
trafficking.
Okay, so veganism opposes the exploitation of sentient beings, including humans. So we would be opposed to that. And I can give you reasons why human trafficking is wrong, but it would
No, I
also
get what human
apply.
trafficking's wrong because you can get into like sex slavery or whatever, like, and everything.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
all
get that
wrong.
it's
That's
wrong,
all wrong.
but you don't need. I don't need a vegan to tell me saying, "Oh, sex slavery is wrong" because it's
So what's the
shit like
reason?
that. I don't
What's the reason it's wrong?
because it's like unconsenting and morally
Right.
wrong to do that to someone.
Yeah. If it's wrong in that case because they're not consenting, then I think that applies in the case of dogs when they're not consenting to dog fighting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but humans or dogs are not equal to each other, in
They
my
don't have to
opinion.
be, they don't have to be equal to each other. They just have to have sufficient moral value such that we don't violate them.
Yeah, but even dogs have different ways of living, like in the wild or in like homes that
We're just
people
talking but we're just
have
talking
them.
about like what humans are like human actions should be. You know, like obviously dogs in the wild have to survive and they don't have moral agency due to like evolutionary adaptation. They're just in a state right now where they don't have moral agency. So we can't fault them for that. And they're still sentient beings who are worthy of moral consideration to some degree, right? So if it's wrong to go and like do like sex trafficking to I should say schmex trafficking to humans, um, because it violates their consent. Well, I can say the same thing about and non-human animals being raised on farms, dog fighting, fishing, hunting,
using them for animal testing, vivisection, all of these things would apply because in all of those cases, their consent is being violated.
Right, yeah, let's thought about the dogs, right? So if I died, just for whatever reason, my dog doesn't hurt anyone, doesn't do anything bad to humans. If my dog ate me unconsensually, is that more or less bad? But
Well, as they're not moral agents, no, you couldn't apply moral reasoning to them, right? It wouldn't make any sense. It's like putting the circle in the square hole. It doesn't make any sense.
It's because
yeah,
they're
but
moral
like,
patients. They're moral patients and we're moral agents. So they may not understand morality, but they're sentient. And even though they're vulnerable to us, you and I, we all know what's right and wrong. So we have a moral obligation to not take advantage of those that are vulnerable to us. Because if we were them, if we were the vulnerable, we would want to be respected. I'm sorry, Herbivorous, you can continue.
No, you're good. Yeah, like you capped off the part I was like kind of leaving out. That was perfect.
yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like our food supply would probably drain by about at least 50% in my viewpoint, because like it takes more digestion power to absorb like food, less calories, less fat, sugars, proteins, and where it's more with meat products, it's more like, yeah, you can get protein from other plant-based stuff, but
Yeah.
it's less so than with meat.
No. In what way is it less so? Like the amount of protein you get is just going to be dependent on how much you're making for yourself, like the quantity. So I don't
Yeah,
know
so
what
like
less so.
in my view of like protein, I think like chicken, or compared to a vegan protein supplement, is less than that chicken in my view of things.
No, like well, if you're, I don't know what you mean by protein supplement, but like if you mean like protein powder, like typically
Like the vegan version of a chicken, like.
yeah, I mean that would be seitan, and it has actually like 3 times the amount of protein as a chicken for 100 grams. Did you know that?
Yeah, but still, it's like protein. In my eyes, it's protein's protein, no matter where you're coming from, like chicken or whatever you said.
Wait.
Protein's protein in my eyes.
Yeah. So if your concern was that you wouldn't be getting enough protein per like 100 grams, right? Then you would be advocating for eating things like seitan because it's 3 times the amount of chicken.
Yeah, I've literally never seen Satan or whether how you pronounce it, or never
Yeah.
tasted it, because I don't. Because for me, I'm like somewhat of a picky eater. If I don't like something, I'll probably won't eat it ever again.
Okay. Well, you should maybe like try one or one like twice or 3 times more, like with different flavors or different ways of cooking, and there's like different methods you could go to approach that. But if I could give you like a resource that would help you like figure out all of this dietary stuff for you, like where you can get all those proteins, where you can get all those plants, like vitamins, nutrients, and minerals, like would you be interested in checking that out? Just because
I
like from an
mean, I
ethical
guess so,
perspective,
but I'm not really fussed.
you're not really what?
I'm not really that bothered about what I eat, if it's like animals or plant-based stuff.
But don't you care about their like consent being violated?
To some animals, yeah, but not all of them.
It's okay to violate some animals' consent?
I mean, yeah, because I eat chicken, cows,
Well, why is
pigs.
it okay to violate a chicken's consent but not a dog's?
Because I view them differently.
So your perception is the reason why it's okay to violate one but not the other. Like do you think that's true in like other cases? Like, like back in the antebellum South, the perception that slave owners had of minorities just in general was that they were inferior. right? Do you think they were justified because they had that perception of those individuals?
Well, they were judged based on skin color, I presume.
Yeah.
So it's different than eating that Z individual.
No. The criteria for why they said it was okay to enslave these people was because their perception of them was inferior. They just felt they were superior.
Yeah,
Right.
but I'm not eating them though, am I? So it's different
You're eating the fish,
viewpoints.
and you're saying the reason why it's okay to eat the fish or the chicken or the cow is because your perception of them is different from like a dog. But
Yeah,
when
and
we
it's
apply that
it's
logic,
different in Asia because Asia eats dogs or whatever they can get their hands on. So in the UK and let's say I don't know Thailand, in the
yeah,
UK
but
we
that's
don't
just going to
eat
be an appeal to
dogs.
culture. Yeah,
In
I know.
Thailand they do.
Of
So
course.
they have different understanding of food and ethics and stuff.
Well, it's probably the same understanding of ethics, right? Because they're just using a different animal species. They're doing the same practices, right? It's going to be the same ethics, but just different animals.
Yeah, because in like that country they just use dogs in as food and other beneficial works.
And that's
But
the
in the
same as
UK,
you with
we
pigs and
don't
cows.
eat them. We just use them in like jobs or like mental health or any other beneficial way.
No, that's not even true. You know, we test on beagles, like in different parts of the world as well, right? Like animal testing. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know what that is, but I'm pretty sure in the UK where I live, we don't do that.
You should look up the MBR beagles.
Oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do.
Well, that's your
And
point
it
of
is
view.
MBR
To my
Beagle.
knowledge,
Point of
we don't
view.
do that.
No,
You
you
do that.
do. And you're
To my
advocating
knowledge,
that
we
it's
don't.
okay to
To my
do it.
knowledge.
Well, that's just a lack of knowledge on your part, right? Like
Yeah,
you need to go get
exactly.
it.
I'm not saying otherwise, but to my understanding, to my knowledge, we
Okay.
don't do that.
Well, you can look it up and you can see how barbaric that little piece of property is. You can hear it. I have friends who are over there now trying to stop it.
Yeah, but you can't just say like, "Oh, you do this because it's wrong." Oh, whoop-de-doo. Fucking hell.
Whoop-de-doo, there's no reason for them to test anything on any animal. If they want to test something, they can use a fucking human because they can consent.
Yeah, okay,
Animals
I was
can't.
literally thinking that.
Excuse me?
I was literally thinking that. I took the words right out of my mouth.
Humans.
No, I'm not saying it's right, but
Well, we would use
just
their
saying in
consent.
general.
It's just like the comment you made about the slaves. You say it was their color. What about the
Brought up slaves.
colonizers? Wait, what about your ancestors, your colonizers that came over to the new land and destroyed my people? Was that for color too?
Who
No,
was your
it
people?
wasn't. It was for
Might I ask?
land. It was for land and what we knew and what we taught them when they came over for that short time.
Sorry to interrupt, but can I ask who are your people?
My people are Native Americans.
And Native Americans are in America?
Yeah.
Okay,
The
so in
indigenous,
the
they're all
UK,
over
we
America.
were the most powerful country in the whole world, love. So
Yeah, we
back
were.
down.
We were. Way back then, we had businesses. We had our
Nations.
yeah, and we had our laws. And we didn't have trouble like we did until the colonizers came over, which were your ancestors.
Yeah, and that's why I assume you're
And that
American, yeah?
wasn't because of the color of our skin. It
And
was
that's why you
because
have American independence.
we don't have independence now. Are you fucking crazy?
So why do you celebrate 4th of July then?
We do not celebrate 4th of July. We do not celebrate 4th of July. We do not celebrate anything like that.
So, like, under my understanding American culture, you have the 4th of July and that's an American holiday, yeah?
Yes, that's an American made-up holiday.
So,
That's
American
a holiday.
which
It's a
means you
holiday where we
celebrate.
signed a constitution. It has not. You're thinking of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
When we
The
betrayed.
separation from the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay. So you
You know,
are
they're
talking
still
about the
whatever
Constitution.
they're
holiday.
still finding babies' bodies, children's bodies, because of these places that they took my family to.
Yeah.
These, reservations and these schools.
Are you talking about the American education system?
There
Talking
wasn't an
about
education
she's
system back
talking
then.
talking about trying to force native people to assimilate with white culture and lose their own
Right,
culture. That's what she's talking about. They
right.
would send them to these kind of private schools where many of these children mysteriously disappeared and they're now finding mass graves.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Right
that's
where these
some
schools are,
individual
right
white
where the
people.
English put these schools.
Yeah.
So white people, as in America and Britain, or everywhere you can find white people.
Sure.
That came
Yeah.
after.
I would say that most Western countries are based off of oppressing the native people that were there, usually pushing out and
Right.
making the colonizer culture be dominant.
We trusted them, and we trusted what they had written down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we and
stupid
we've
for us.
and we've all done the same thing now to the animals, and we're saying because they don't understand that it's okay.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, why can't they just rise up and like kill off
They
humans?
try. They try.
Okay,
We've
but they're
literally
not.
bred
They're
them.
not trying hard enough. Then are they?
We've literally, so you're saying it's okay to enslave somebody that can't escape their oppressor?
So if we're enslaving animals or our own kind, why aren't the animals enslaving humans?
So again, I
I'm not
say
trying to be
because
racist
someone,
or anything, but
so
it's just a general
someone, I
question.
know, but you need to understand what you're just saying. You literally are defending enslaving someone because they cannot
I'm not
escape.
trying to defend it. I was trying to say, why aren't animals
They
enslaving
do
humans as a
try.
whole?
They do try, but we've bred them to be
When?
weaker. All the time they try to escape the slaughterhouse. They try to escape some of their farms. They always are brought back.
Okay, so that's slaughterhouses, but just outside in the
Even
wild.
in farms, if they feel unsafe, they try to escape. They prefer to be
Wild.
comfortable.
You're
So
talking
you're
about in
being ridiculous.
captivity.
I'm kind of getting to the end of my tolerance for you because you're really deflecting from your own
You're deflecting, and
responsibilities. You are
yeah,
going
he's
into a
not
grocery,
accepting
yeah,
it.
he's not listening. You're going into a
No.
grocery store and when you pick up the animal product, you're in the game of supply and demand. You're saying, I like this. I like the way it's made. I like the price. Please make more. So they birth another handicapped individual to exploit and steal for
Yeah, but can't
you.
you say that about vegan
So
products?
what you can do, plants are not sentient. Eat the thing, steal from the thing that
You can
does not
still
have
you can still
preferences.
mass produce
Steal,
vegan food.
yes, mass produce plants. Yes, we could feed 10 billion people
You can
only
still
on a
have
hush,
genetic
hush, honey,
mutations in
hush.
that
You need
plant.
to learn. All you do is yap.
Listen,
All you do is
Muting
yap.
me.
Okay.
just
You
listen.
can go back down to the chat.
He's gone.
Yeah. The issue is not even about the environment that I was about to go on to, right? Like I was about to go into how they're just inefficient and we're dedicating all of this and he's saying we can't feed people and my point was that we can feed more people on plants and use less land at the same time. I don't think you're up here to
And
have a
less
genuine
water.
and less water. And I don't think you're
Sorry,
up here.
that's
No, you're fine. You can speak up. I just don't think that he was up here in good faith because he didn't even want to pay attention to what we were talking about.
no right. He was just pivoting.
Yeah. And the whole thing that we were trying to get across is that oppression is wrong. It doesn't matter if the person being oppressed is aware of it. It doesn't matter if they end up being dominated and can't fight back. It's wrong to oppress someone.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally was defending what we did to the Native
Plants need
Americans by saying,
water.
sorry?
Yeah, but listen, so plants might need water, but they don't need the massive amount that goes to cattle and other land animals that you eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Animal
And
ag takes
you
way
didn't
more
even hear
water.
her when she said that we could feed 10 billion plus people, and we're only at 8 billion right now.
Yeah.
But we can't even feed the other 2 billion because it's all going to land animals.
Yeah. Exactly. And so the point that I was also trying to make, and Lori was trying to make, is that we see in history when oppression was clear and we go, that wasn't right. And we as vegans are looking at how we treat animals and saying, look, we're doing the same actions to another sentient being. Who cares about what happens to them? Plants don't care what happens to them. Animals care what happens to them just as much as we care what happens to us. And even if it was better for the environment, even if it was better for the economy, right? It's still immoral to enslave someone for your benefit, right? You're ignoring their consent. You're degrading their experiences, and you're not giving them the same dignity that you would demand for yourself.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as a food chain. It's all a tropic
pyramid.
state.
Yeah. The
Trophic
chain
pyramid.
is just a zoomed in. Honestly, the food chain is a simplified version for kids in elementary school to learn about ecowebs. You zoom in on a certain part of an ecoweb, you can see the transfer of energy, which is what Lori is mentioning. It's the trophic pyramid. As you go up, you lose 90% of the energy that went into the organism down below. So when you're using animals, you're only getting 10% of what went into them. So that shows that they're inefficient. And when you zoom in on a food chain, again, it's just showing you in nature where that energy is being transferred to. That is it. And if you think that it makes you dominant, then carnivores are the dominant species because they eat all of the animals. And that's not the case. If
And
you're
you're
trying
not
to,
a carnivore.
yeah, we're not a carnivore, we're omnivores. So the point is, we're actually opportunistic omnivores who thrive on plants. But the point is, if you're trying to say because we are dominating the world right now, that makes it moral to exploit animals, that's just might makes right. You're just saying,
Right.
because I'm able to take advantage of someone and they can't stop me, it's moral for me to do this. No.
Humans eat and plants? What? It's not the way it needs to be anymore. So that's what I was trying to explain to you.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
not necessary anymore.
We'll just move on. They can cry in the chat. I'm gonna bring up someone else
You
here.
have somebody. Yeah, you have two waiting.
Awesome. Hold up, King Theo.
Isn't that how evolution works?
Well, first, why aren't you vegan? And then I'll answer your question.
Why am I not vegan?
Yeah.
That's what it says up there.
Am I supposed to be vegan?
Are you aware of what it is?
I'm very aware of what it is, yes.
What do you think it is?
Well, I know exactly what it is. It's people that refuse to eat meat or any animal products.
No, that would be like a vegetarian maybe, or a plant-based diet. But veganism is about like an ethical opposition to the exploitation and oppression of sentient beings. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but we all participate in oppression.
So some examples of this oppression that I'm talking about, it would include what we do to animals on farms and animal agriculture, but it would also apply to like leather and wool and like zoos and circuses, aquariums, hunting, fishing, dog fighting, horseback riding. So do you understand that, we understand that like, we can't be perfect in this world, but we can definitely strive to be better, right? And that's all veganism is saying. It's saying, hey, if we can avoid exploiting others and oppressing them, we should try to avoid that. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be a snap of a finger and happen immediately, but we should be striving for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
Okay, cool. So why aren't you like in agreement with that right now? Or maybe is it something you would be considering for the first time right now?
Well, I think we all play a part in oppression. We all play a part in using other people for our own benefit. We're all sitting here on an internet with electronics that come from countries with slave labor.
And if we can get phones that don't use slave labor, we should strive to get those phones, right?
But are we making an effort to do that?
Yeah. Have you heard of Fairphone?
Yeah, do you own one?
Not yet, but it's going to be my next purchase once this thing dies or unalives. Sorry.
Oh, it is okay,
hmm
but not yet.
Well, I'm striving, in the future once this thing's run out because I don't really want to waste money.
Yeah,
And
this doesn't have to do with that. Okay, we're not even saying that you throw away your stuff that is animal. Okay, we're saying use it until it wears out, and then buy something else.
Okay, so Fairphone didn't exist when you bought your last mobile device?
I just didn't know about it. If it had, if I had known, I would have just bought one. But it's kind of besides the point. Do you get that? Like, it's the more ethical decision. Like, we're in agreement on that.
Not necessarily, no.
It's not. It's not more ethical to choose a phone that wasn't derived through slave labor.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, okay. So we are in agreement.
I think we're in agreement in the sense that if you can do anything to help your fellow man and not objectify and use people, that's a very ethical thing to do. I can agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's basically all veganism is saying, and we're saying that sentient. This would just apply to sentient life, right? So the way you feel, the way you can empathize with other humans, you could also feel the same empathy for other non-humans, other animals, right? They experience similar emotions, in like morally relevant ways. Like they can experience like vast amounts of pain, pleasure, suffering, joy, anxiety. Like they experience a wide range of emotions. And so we can apply the same empathetic reasoning that we already use for humans to non-human animals. And we can just say, well, because we feel empathetic about other humans, if there's ways that we can avoid exploiting and oppressing those non-humans as well for the same reasons, we should just do that. And that's really all veganism is saying. It's taking an ethical stance against the exploitation of sentient beings.
Anybody else want to join in or?
Herbivorous is doing pretty well. He's talking to you just fine.
Yeah, you came up here. What did you come up here for? To learn something or figure something out or what?
I come up here to learn, yeah.
Okay. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm processing.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you kind of initially agree with what I'm saying, but like maybe you need to think about it a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you should do that. You should go watch Dominion. Like there's a bunch of those documentaries on the background. You can just take a screenshot and go check those out, and they'll basically like educate you on what sort of like oppression and exploitation actually occurs in all different forms and ways. And so you'll be able
What
to
about
like
organic? What about organic farming? What about people that eat meat that aren't the product of industrialized, mass-produced farming? Are you opposed to that?
yeah, they're still like violating the rights of sentient beings, whether it's on a small scale or a large scale,
Okay, so I come from a part of the world with a culture and a tradition of hunting. Now, had my people a few generations back not hunted, not eaten meat, they probably wouldn't be around today. What's your position on that?
Yeah, that's fine, but
Where are
you
you?
don't have
Where
to
are
do.
you in the Are you in the United States?
No, I'm from Northern Canada.
Okay, Northern Canada. All right.
Yeah, that's fine that we had to do that in the past, right? Or like I actually might say it's like not fine, but we didn't have another choice, right? And now we actually do have another choice. So that when we do have another
Yeah.
choice, it would make it not fine.
So you're going to tell the people that live in Northern Canada, where 7 to 8 months a year it's frozen tundra.
No. If they don't have another choice, then I wouldn't be talking to them. I could talk to them, like as a friend and like try to help them in any way I could, and support them. But if they had no other choice for means of survival, like all I can do is support them in every way I can, right?
So you're not opposed to it if it's necessary for survival.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Just to be clear, the way that, at least from my understanding of most vegans and what my personal perspective is, it's not that it's not immoral, right? You're still taking someone's life, and if you were them, you would still want to live. But it's more understandable when someone's in a survival situation and doesn't have another choice. And as Herbivorous was saying earlier, is that it's, anybody can be vegan. It's about how you view the animals. Do you see them as a resource, or do you see them as an individual that wants to live and avoid harm just as much as you do? And you would still, make choices to survive, but you would be much more conscious of what you're doing, and you wouldn't want to do it. And as soon as you could get out of that situation, you'd be always looking for alternatives, because you principally don't want to do it. So anybody can be vegan. And even in the worst situations, there are vegans that will cross their principles to survive, but it's still immoral. It's just more understandable.
Well, I refuse to believe that people that have lived off the land for centuries and have eaten meat to do so are immoral people, because I've known them.
I didn't say
And they're
they
not
themselves are immoral people. I'm saying the action of taking someone's life, that is immoral and a tragedy, right? Nobody wants to be unalived. And honestly,
I don't believe sacrificing an animal to feed yourself and feed your family, nourish your family, is an immoral act.
taking
the
someone's...
action.
Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So it like we're trying to bring up the perspective of the victim, right? From the victim's perspective, they didn't want to go through that. Can you understand that?
I can understand that, but can I also understand that people don't want to starve?
Yeah.
So there's a decision that has to be made, and that's why
Yeah.
they call it a sacrifice. And
So,
I'd like to tell you that the people who
yeah,
do
even
hunt animals and that it's part of their culture, there's a great,
so they didn't
enormous
have a
deal of respect
choice. If
they
they didn't
have for
have
the
a
animals.
choice, if they didn't have a choice, then yeah, maybe it's justified, right? But from the victim's perspective, they still didn't want that to happen. So we could say that it's still justified, even though from the victim's perspective, it's definitely wrong. But take another case where we definitely have another choice and the victim doesn't want it. It's 110% wrong in that case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
do you have no grocery stores around you or anything like that? You're that far up?
I'm not that far up personally, no,
Oh, okay.
but
So
I'm not far off.
you do have a choice to go to a grocery store to a point?
Yeah, absolutely, I do. But I grew up in a tradition and a culture of
And
agricultural.
what culture was that? Are you Inuit?
No, I'm not Inuit, but I've grown up on
Okay.
farmland and rural areas where farming
Yeah.
is a huge part of our
Well,
lives and our culture. I
right.
think you
Most of
mentioned
us,
earlier. I think you mentioned earlier you're from Native American heritage. Surely you understand
yeah.
the history of hunter gatherer there, and the amount of
Yeah, they were mostly gatherers, because
hunter
they
gatherers.
even way yeah they were mainly gatherers. They did hunt, but they didn't hunt like we do now, and you know that if your ancestors, but they didn't hunt like that. They would hunt maybe a few bison, but that would go to everybody for a long time because they just didn't have the ability to take down that big of an animal all the time with luck, with what primitive tools they had.
Well, I'm quite familiar with how they live because I live very close to a Micmac reservation, and their intake
Yeah.
of meat and other vegetarian options is pretty similar to most people today. They ate a lot of meat because they were able to kill salmon, buffalo, and moose, and they were able to preserve
Yeah,
it through
and I
smoking.
understand. Yeah,
And they ate
and
a lot
and
of
I
meat.
understand. Right,
They
I
still do.
understand that. But we're just saying that if it's not necessary, that's what we're saying. We're saying if it's not necessary, and we know that you can thrive and survive on a plant-based diet, a well plant-based diet, why not choose that instead of choosing something with a victim involved? No, that's all we're wondering. We're asking.
So you're a
You know,
vegetarian as well,
I'm a
or
vegan.
vegan?
Vegan.
You are a
I've been
vegan.
vegan. I've been hardcore vegan for 26 years, but I really never ate meat because my grandparents had a farm and they didn't kill or unalive their animals, and they were all my buddies. They were all my companion animals. I played with them. I had a bull that played with me, chicken that I raised from school when I was in
You played
school.
with a bull.
Yes, I did. He was
Okay.
a rescue. He was a rescue, and he came to us as, a little older than, I would say, 6 months, maybe a little older than 6 months. But we weaned him back to health, and the thing was just like a dog with me. He'd
Well,
follow me
that's
everywhere, and I'd play with my ball, and he'd bump the ball back to me with his nose. You know,
well, that's one of the most impressive things I've heard today, that you played with a bull, because I grew up,
yeah,
my ex
yeah,
girlfriend grew up on a farm, and she had many bulls, and
yeah.
how you could play with a bull is pretty impressive.
Well, I guess it's how you treat them, right? Of
No, a
course,
bull is always a
wild,
bull.
right? Because you saw it as a bull. I didn't see
No,
it as a
because
bull.
it's a bull.
Right, but I never really saw it as that. I just knew it was a companion and a friend when I
Well,
was in my early teens and
you should
late
consider
teens.
yourself lucky that you're here if you were playing with a bull.
Oh yeah, no, he was. We had pigs too and goats, and they were all buddies. They'd
Oh,
all
yeah.
follow you around, and I didn't have to have food in my hand for them to follow me.
The pigs and goats
But
are great,
no,
but I
I
never
mean,
did play with the bull.
yeah. Well, we raised them so, and we raised them in kindness, and
Okay,
they're
so
no different than a
you're one of
dog.
these people
No
that
different
believes
than a
it's how
dog.
you raise an animal, not the animal itself.
I believe it's how you raise an animal because anybody that raises dogs can raise them cruelly, or they can raise them the best they can, and they'll do what they're told.
So
If they're
you
only
don't
shown
understand
nothing
or
but
agree that some
violence,
animals cannot be domesticated. Some animals will never be your friend. You don't believe that.
I don't believe sharks will ever be my friend, but I could be wrong. I don't.
I think you're
I know
very wrong.
snakes won't be
Some
my friend
people,
unless they
to,
aren't
to,
venomous.
to your credit, Lori, there are actually people that have made friends with sharks. They go scuba diving and hang out with
I'm
sharks.
sure they
I've
have,
seen,
but
yeah,
it's
I've
like
seen them.
I don't.
Well, so your point
I
is
don't have the
though,
ability to go out on a boat.
correct me if I'm wrong, Lori. Are you just trying to say that animals, including the bull or even sharks, they do have the capacity to make friends with us? They just may not
Yes.
necessarily always do so. It's just that we don't even give them the chance.
We don't get, yeah, right. We don't give them the chance. And when we do give them the chance, they show us every time that they can be kind, even if it's the most destructive animal, you know? So,
Well,
yeah.
the vegan thing, you might have me thinking for a while and pondering. But as far as the domesticating and being friends with bulls and wild animals, I'm not.
Well,
I'm not going to be converted on that one, because I've
yeah,
been
and
around bulls.
I understand that. My grandparents had a farm and they had chickens, goats, pigs, and we helped the bull because he came into us as a rescue. So we helped him, and he was still young enough to understand that we weren't going to hurt him. We
Yeah.
weren't going to hurt him.
He must have been
And
castrated, been a steer. But I mean, we're going off on a tangent here in
yeah,
a different conversation.
yeah.
But
Later on, he was, yeah. We
yeah,
didn't.
I would think so.
He was older, yeah. But we didn't want him running out and procreating.
What did you
So.
keep him for? Why would your grandparents keep a steer on the farm? For what purpose?
Well, we had a few other cows that they rescued. Like I said, it was like a rescue,
They
even
weren't
though.
dairy cows?
Pardon?
Were they dairy cows?
No, no, they were not dairy cows. They were beef cows, but we never we never unalived them for food.
Why?
No,
I'm just curious. I'm learning here. Why do you guys use the term unalive rather than kill?
well, because it's a TikTok thing, and they're very
Oh, okay.
particular
Okay.
about
I thought it was a political
phrases
thing.
and things you say. Yeah, you have to say unalive, or instead of the M word, it's schmurder, or it's just stuff
Okay.
like that. It's just TikTok. That's all. We don't want to get her banned. I don't want to get her banned.
The numbers drop drastically if some of these words are said, which means that I've been taken off the For You page because they don't like me using that word or whatever.
Yeah,
I
didn't know that.
was like at 60 or 70, and multiple people have done it. It's not just you, but other people have said it, and so it's brought down my numbers greatly. But it's
Oh, and I said
fine.
it too.
It's fine. We have lots of people in the requests, and that's all I really care for is to talk to people one-on-one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's great, King, that you're thinking about the vegan aspect. At least you are open-minded about that. And if you have an option to go to a supermarket, why not try the side that has the living on it instead of the unaliving?
Well, I
unliving.
just don't think it computes in the big scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things. In this world, other than
Well,
humans, we have tons of species that all
right.
sacrifice other species to survive.
I understand that,
I
and they
don't
don't
think
have
it's
a choice.
necessarily unnatural for a human to eat meat. I'm not there
Okay.
yet.
Well, nobody says it's unnatural. We're saying
Well,
it's not the right thing to do if you have other choices.
Saying it's
well, I
not
see,
fair.
And
It's
and,
not.
I
I'm
can't
willing to
look. I
consider
ate
that, but
meat. I ate meat in the very beginning. We're all indoctrinated into it as very young, and we're told by our parents that this is what's going to be good for you because they didn't know any better. Just like milk, they're finding out that it doesn't do a body good. It's terrible for your body. Meats cause cancer, all kinds. And being on a vegan diet, they've actually been able to reverse a lot of diseases.
okay, but then you're going vegan for a
Diabetes.
different reason. You're going vegan for your own benefit, not for a moral perspective.
Yeah, I am. I'm going for the moral aspect of it because I love all kinds of animals.
Okay, so
And if
who's the
I could,
victim if somebody drinks milk? How is a dairy cow a victim if you're milking it?
because go ahead, Anna. I'll let you explain it. You can explain it.
Okay, so a cow is a mammal, right?
Yeah.
When do mammals produce milk?
Well, they lactate after they bear young offspring.
Right. So who is that milk for?
Primarily, it's for the calf.
It's only for the calf.
Okay. So,
Okay.
what do you think would happen to dairy cattle if humans didn't drink milk?
They wouldn't be forcefully impregnated anymore.
Well, they would no longer exist.
Right. Yeah, that'd be okay.
After so many years, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that'd be okay. What's wrong with that?
Why do we need to have cows? They're not even the original cow that they used to breed with.
Well, nothing's the original. The beet you eat are not the original beet. It's a mutated form that's been
Right.
mutated over 100
What
years.
Lori means is you're not going to release these domesticated animals into the wild because we've taken away their tools to be able to survive the wild, because taking away their tools to survive the wild makes them more docile and easy to dominate.
I
So right now,
understand that. Do either you own a dog or a cat?
so
I own both.
vegans are against the commodification of animals, including pets. So it's not that we go out and buy accessories, it's that we're able to provide someone a rich life. So it's in their
Right.
best interest, not ours.
Right.
So you're not opposed to owning dogs and cats? I
I
didn't
don't
understand.
consider it owning. I consider it like I'm adopting, right? Like, you could say you own your child, but that sounds,
Pretty weird.
exploitative, whereas you're adopting someone to give them a rich life, right?
Okay, so you can have a cat or a dog if you've adopted it.
We push for adoption, yeah, because there's so. I mean, look at how many animals are being unalived at all of these shelters because people are just dumping them left and right. You're on mute, Anna. You're on mute. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Oh no! All of a sudden, your voice went out. There you go. Wait, I heard something.
Oh, I untwisted my
There you go.
mic, I guess. Do you hear me
Oh,
now?
there you go. Yeah. I can
Okay.
hear you now.
Now I forgot what we were talking about because I got so
You're
distracted.
talking
by
about
my-
owning domestic
Oh yeah.
dogs and cats.
Owning
So-
cats and dogs.
We've
Whatever.
made this mess of companions. We've made them exist, and we need to clean that mess up by taking care of who we've forced to be here. We are breeding so many that our shelters are just overflowing, and
Yeah.
honestly, our situation is, I feel that they've made now today owning a pet more of a sinkhole so that people can't really. Like, I feel like people are trying to suck the money out of people that care about animals when it comes to companions. So a lot of people are not even taking on the responsibility that we should to care for these animals because we're not really supported. But the reason that we shouldn't have them anymore is because they're dependent. They can't survive on their own, and that's not fair to somebody to keep birthing someone into existence for you that cannot take care of themselves. That is immoral.
Yeah.
And if you can
And-
provide
and-
someone care, oh, sorry, go ahead, Lori. I was just
Yeah,
trying
no,
to
go ahead.
reiterate. If
Yeah, go
if
ahead.
you can provide someone a rich life, and they need help, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you develop a bond, that's even better. It's okay if you end up teaching them like tricks or whatever to help bond or maybe they get entertainment out of it, but it's about, are you doing everything in their best interest or are you doing it for yours? That's the difference.
Right.
Please go ahead, Lori.
Right. Oh shoot. Let me rethink it because I had it on my mind, but then I forgot.
I was gonna say I
so.
spoke so much. Yeah.
No, that's okay.
Just about having pets.
The way you framed it, that we've made this mess, et cetera, et cetera. We didn't make any mess. I mean, domesticated dogs are here.
No, we domesticated them.
Well, yeah, but we domesticated them for good reason.
No.
They served a great purpose to us in prior years.
It was unfair for us to take wild animals.
We watched them from the wild.
Yeah, but it's unfair to take.
Them.
It's unfair to take wild animals from their home and bring them into our homes to be our pets. That's immoral, right? We have now made them not be able to survive their natural environment, so we should take care of who we've forced to be here, and let them die naturally. Don't let them procreate anymore.
Okay, so we should just get rid of dairy cattle.
The exotic animal trade is the biggest thing going right now, and it's really terrible. They need to rein that in and stop it.
Exotic animal trade is terrible. I agree with you there.
Yeah, it all comes in from Florida and Mexico and the countries down there. But
I'm sure they're doing it all over the U.S. in general, just because.
Yeah, I mean, it comes in from certain, they bring them in from certain ports.
Well, I don't see exotic animal ownership and somebody having a golden retriever as the same thing at all. Sorry, not even close to the same thing.
Well, so you're just thinking environmental issues, right? We're talking about the individual themselves.
Right. Yeah, what I was going to say is this whole thing about beef is that it's just not sustainable. Us continuing to do what we're doing and breeding these animals and unaliving them for food is just not sustainable anymore. And it's just not going to continue on. I mean, science is already
sustainable.
Because of the land that we use, and we've overused it to the point now where they're taking down, Amazon rainforests. Because we have gotten these other people that have lived off the land or have been able to grow their own stuff. Now we're making them, powerless to us because we've gone down there and said, oh, let's make cow crops. None of you people will starve. You'll all be fat and happy, but yet these ranchers are just going to take all the money. And they've ruined more land.
You're talking about the natives that live in the Amazon that are being relocated so that we can have cattle farm and monocrops. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're kind of happy that they've learned this new way of life because I'm sure their quality of life has improved tenfold. So you can see, we can sit here on TikTok all we
King
want.
of Theo, wait. Are you talking about the natives in the Amazon? Because they haven't. They've just been forced out of their homes so that they can burn down a section of forest to make a farm out of. That's what's happening in the Amazon. And literally 80% of it, 80 to 90% of it is directly for cattle specifically, which aren't even all of our crops. Cattle aren't even the most animal that we farm. We farm far more chickens, right?
Yeah.
So cattle having that effect on the Amazon, imagine now 92.2 billion total land animals we have to feed. Like, no wonder we're plowing down the rainforest, That's a lot of mouths.
That's not including trillions and trillions of sea life.
Yeah.
Every day. They kill. I mean, they unalive because they're caught in nets.
And to tie this to hunting, let's say you want to avoid all of these big farms or even the small farms and you decide that you're just going to go out into the forest. The wild mammals only make up 4% of our total biomass. They only make up 4%. So to avoid the 60% that are all the animals that we farm, you're taking out the tiny bit of wildlife we have left. And that's not all just deer, right? I've mentioned this before. That's also the monkeys, the gorillas, the elephants, the lions. It's all of those animals. So
so you're suggesting that in a sense we're overhunting?
I'm saying that we're using sentient beings so much that we don't even see their sentience anymore. We're just their resources to be mined to extinction.
Okay,
that's what happens.
Do you know how overpopulated with moose and deer and black bear?
Okay, King.
We are where I live?
You know why those animals are overpopulated? Animal ag. If we eliminated farming animals, we could give land back to them and the original stewards that were there, the native people. We could give their
Right.
land back to them. We could let animals rewild. We could build up their ecosystem so they stay out of human areas. We could put walls
Right.
around our gardens. We have the technology. We know how to do it, but there's so much money involved with animal ag that we're literally fighting this propaganda machine. How many times
Right.
a day do you see messages being pushed in your face to eat animals and to use them? How many times a
Yeah.
day do you get the message that you'll only be able to have friends and be successful if you use animals?
I
It's-
don't.
Right.
You don't watch TV or you don't see any billboards?
Well, I'm not trying to be a smartass, but no, I don't watch a whole lot of TV at all. No.
Okay, but you watch some TV.
No, not really. No, not since.
Do you go on
it's
the
mostly
internet? I mean, you're on
Yes,
TikTok.
Very
Do you
much the
get
internet.
do you get commercials on TikTok for animal products? Because I sometimes do.
I
Even though
might-
I'm
and I might be-
vegan.
I might be naive in thinking, but any TikTok ad I see doesn't really influence how I live my life.
My point is, people are being fed this message constantly that we need to use animals. We're not even thinking logically. We're just told, you have to do this. The science says otherwise. The science says
Right.
we actually thrive, not just our health, but also our planet if we stop using animals.
And why
So
wouldn't we want to
if
be
we
healthy?
stop using animals, you think the planet's going to be healthier because
Yes.
of carbon emissions?
Massively, yes. I just
Yes.
told you,
killing our
75%, 75% reduction in our land use. A huge reduction. I think it's like 50% of the greenhouse gases from ag would be eliminated. A third of our
Eliminated,
water
yeah.
use would be eliminated. Like, there would be, we could feed 10 billion people on a fraction of the land and let all that other land rewild. So 10 billion people fed, and yet we still have the equivalent space of America and Brazil combined of
Okay,
land
so
to
if it
do whatever with.
If it rewilds, as you say, the wild animals that are going to now populate it don't produce carbon emissions?
No, not compared
Not
to
like
humans.
animal
Are you
ag.
kidding?
Not compared to us and cars and animal ag. Those are but animal ag is in the front.
We have to feed the animals we farm. I mean, the greenhouse gases mainly come from feeding them. We have to put fertilizers on their food. If we don't have to grow their food anymore, wild animals will just live in carbon sinks, right? They'll live
Right.
in ecosystems where the energy is transferred sustainably.
Right. And if we've brought back all the wild animals we've, taken out, that would take care of the population.
Yeah, we don't have to fiddle with numbers. Nature has its own natural,
exactly.
growing and shrinking. We just take our hands. Every time humans get involved, we make it worse. And I have no problem with us studying these systems to better understand them and maybe improve things, but we better figure out what we're doing before we just start interacting with other individuals' lives, like we've learned there are keystone creatures, right? Like if you remove a certain creature, that can have devastating effects all the way down. Animal ag is like the leading cause of biodiversity. We need to scale back what we're doing and let things heal.
Yeah. Because we just can't keep going on with our water and everything else. And you know that if we don't have water,
Well, you do
don't
know
have
whatever
water.
side you're on that. You do know that's up for debate. That hasn't been proven.
I mean, you know what? It doesn't even matter. Let's steel man you. Let's say that using animals is better for the environment. Still gonna advocate for veganism because you're enslaving someone. Animals care
Right.
what happens to them. Those cows care what happens to them. They avoid harm. They want to keep living. They have joys. Cows specifically are herd animals. They enjoy their herds. They've found cows in sanctuary settings that are still pregnant. Once they have their baby, it takes the whole herd. They share. They take turns taking care of the baby.
Yeah.
They care what
Just like
happens to them and
elephants.
their family. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like elephants do. They all take care of the calf.
Right.
Well, no one's doubting that wild animals are capable of compassion.
You could argue that human slavery would actually benefit our environment greatly. We could reduce our greenhouse gases greatly. We could reduce our land use greatly. We could reduce how much food we need to grow greatly just by using human slaves. But those benefits don't outweigh the robbery of someone's life.
Right. Right. It's just we've been indoctrinated into it and so much that we can't see past the indoctrination. It's just like religion.
Well, I don't think it's only. You mean to tell me any culture or society around the world that eats meat, they've all been indoctrinated?
Now, yes. for sure.
Yes,
No,
because it's
it's a
Yes.
natural
essential.
progression.
No, so
Eating
I'll
meat
tell
is
you
a
why.
natural-
I'll tell you why. Every country seems to want to, well, maybe not right now, but up till now, most countries were trying to imitate America. I absolutely believe that most countries are brainwashed to think that the colonial way of living is the best way. Yes, I think that that is a huge thought around. People are poo-pooing on their own cultures because they're brainwashed to want to live like the Americans do.
Why
So
do you
yes,
think they want to live like the Americans?
because they think that we're all rich and we're all doing really
We
well.
we are doing really well comparatively.
To some
doing
people,
exceptionally
but that
well.
doesn't mean that the way that we
That's
got
up
here
for
is the right
debate.
way.
That's up for debate. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not
just
doing well.
we
right
got
now as a
here on the
country.
backs of slaves, on the backs of animals, on the backs of people that are just different colors. We got
Listen,
here, so other
every
nations
culture,
want to
every
imitate
society
us,
has-
but that doesn't matter. We should all just be trying to care for each other. That's the kind of community we should have. I should care that you are a sentient being, that you have the capacity to suffer, and I should respect that by not exploiting you at the bare minimum. And if you need help, providing the help that I can provide you. That's bare minimum.
Every human being exploits other human beings in every
That doesn't
culture
make it
across the
right,
world.
though. You're
But it will
appealing to
exist forever.
futility.
It's not going to change.
This is called an appeal to futility, and it's pathetic. That's saying that we don't need to make changes for rights ever because you can't eliminate it all, right? I'll give you an example, and you can come off mute. Are you racist? Do you consider yourself racist? And I'm not trying to attack you. I genuinely want to know how you feel.
Am I racist?
Yeah. Do you think that you're racist?
I don't think I'm racist, no.
Right. Okay, do you try to make an effort to avoid being racist? Like if you found out something you did was racist and you're like, I didn't know, would you stop doing that action?
Well, I don't want to sound holier than thou, but I don't think I've ever been racist. I wasn't raised in that environment.
That's not what I asked you. Let's say you find out something you're doing is racist. Would you stop doing that thing?
Yeah. She's just using it as an analogy.
I would say I would, yeah.
All right. Can you eliminate all racism in the world?
No, I certainly can't, no.
Right. Exactly. It's a principled thing that you're not racist. It's not because you know that if you become not racist, that'll eliminate all issues in the world. You strive to not be racist because if you were the other person that's being oppressed, you would want respect. Right?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I believe
I'm
all
saying the
humans
same
have
things
rights,
for the
human rights.
animals. What if you were the animals? What would you want? Would you want your oppressors to continue using you, knowing
Yeah,
that
but
they
I'm not
could
an
do
animal, and
something
that's
else?
the difference between a human and an animal.
So
Humans are
you know, it makes it worse, King, because you're a moral agent. You know what's right and wrong, right? The animals don't. You do. So the fact that you're continuing to do this, knowing that it's wrong, makes you doing something immoral.
Well,
you
I guess the
are
big
immoral.
issue is I don't think it's morally wrong to sacrifice. I'll use the word sacrifice.
Yeah,
an
you're
animal.
not sacrificing, you're stealing. You're stealing from someone. You're stealing
am I
their
stealing
body.
from?
You're using them for your sensory pleasure without their consent. Literally.
It's not sensory pleasure, it's nourishment.
Your tongue entertainment. You can get every nutritional need from plants. We've gone over this. The Academy of Nutrition and
Yeah, we just
Dietetics
said
makes
that.
it clear. Most humans can thrive on using plants, not animals. They can thrive, you can live a decent life using animals, but since we can thrive using plants, what's the point of putting an emotional being through the worst thing that we wouldn't even tolerate? I don't care if I'm 80 years old, don't stab me with a knife.
Man does it. Man does it. This is all because of men.
We don't
This all
have, and we
started
don't
because
have to do it, right? That's the point. You can be a better
we don't have
protector, a better steward to the individuals that you have forced into existence. You can be like, hey, I've forced you here. I'm going to care for you until the end that you naturally come to. I'm not going to stick a knife in you. I'm not going to make you take that walk.
So in your grand scheme of things, dairy cattle would no longer exist. Domesticated
but they would
chickens
live-
wouldn't exist.
Okay, look, you're
It's
kind
not
of...
It's not her grand scheme.
I was
And
gonna
it's
say,
not a scheme.
It's not a scheme. The idea is
It
that
has to happen.
I care about them. I don't want them to be forced into being exploited. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't think they want their children to be exploited. As we've made cows have udders that are so big that when they reach 6, even though they can get to the age 20, once they get to age 6, they're what we call downers because we impregnate them over and over and over again. They can't even stand up. So yeah,
Why
I
do you
think that's
they shackle their legs?
Exactly.
shackle their legs together
To keep
be
them
able
from
to walk so
splaying
they don't
out.
fall.
Yep.
Right.
That's just crazy to think that that's okay to keep perpetuating and to use them with that excuse. Like, we've literally put them in this situation, and you're like, well, since they're in this situation, I might as well use them. You know, we
Right.
used to breed human slaves too, and we said the same GD thing. I've bred them for this purpose, therefore I can use them for this purpose. They're a sentient being. Who cares what happens to them? That's what we're talking about. I don't care about their intelligence. I don't care about their conscious level. Even a human that has low cognition and low intelligence, still immoral to exploit. But I think we're going to move on because we've been with you for 40 minutes.
Wow.
And I usually don't go past 30 anymore with people, so.
Yeah, exactly.
That was crazy.
Just take a screenshot of everything she's got up there, so, and go take a look at it.
Well, that wasn't
Maybe
Cell,
you should
that was
watch
somebody else.
Darius Scary. Yeah, if you can get YouTube, watch Darius Scary.
Yeah.
Then you'll know where the milk cows go to and their lives.
Yep.
And their children's lives. You'll see exactly what standard practice is.
Oh, it's Ben is saying that plant sentience is being championed in the chat, apparently.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Plants aren't sentient.
They are not sentient. They don't have a brain or a central nervous system. And even if they were sentient, you would still go vegan. So I don't know why everyone thinks that crop deaths or anything to do with plant sentience is like a gotcha when animals consume more plants. Like,
well,
if you care about their welfare.
Yeah, and it's our crops, vegan crops.
Yeah, exactly. Only the vegans eat the crops.
Yeah, only the vegans eat the crops. Yeah. I think they're shocked to realize how much food goes to, the animals.
Plants. Yeah, to animals. I don't think people understand that animals eat so much more. Like, cows eat pounds of food.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Cheese Grater, are you over 18?
Yep, I am over 18. I was born in 2007.
Okay. Why aren't you vegan yet?
Why no? Why should I be vegan? Like, what's the point of being vegan when we have so many other options?
Do you understand that animals are sentient?
Yeah, they are, but like they could have invented tools and shit first. Like, we got to it first. Womp womp.
So, do you know
Game's on for them.
Do you know what sentience means?
Yeah, I do.
What's
means
it
they
mean?
have feelings, emotions, intelligence.
Okay.
But
so you
they're
understand
not as smart as us, which means they've lost. Womp womp. It's over for them.
So you think that might makes right is what I'm hearing.
Yup.
So someone smarter than you can do what they want to you.
Are they human?
Yeah.
Then no, because they're human as well. And,
Oh,
you're not
so
allowed to
now
stack
might
another
makes
human.
might doesn't make right. Okay, you're an immature a-hole.
If they're non-human and they're smarter than you, can they violate you?
That's a good question. I just didn't. I dropped him because I didn't think he was going to have an honest conversation. He might have been entertaining though.
I mean, I'll just get him to bite a bunch of bullets and then kick him.
Yeah. If someone does come up like that, I'll let you do that from now on. I'll give you the opportunity to talk to him first.
Okay. Or if you don't want to talk to them, that's also fine.
Yeah. What I'll say is I'm done, and then if anybody else wants to take over, and we'll go from there. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Awesome. All right. I'm so sorry.
It's Nicholas.
Nicholas. Okay. Thank you, Nicholas. Are you over 18?
Yep.
Right on. Why aren't you vegan yet?
I don't find any specific reason to be.
Understand that animals can feel pain and joy?
Is that what defines personhood according to their essential properties?
Not personhood, sentience.
Is sentience a measure of personhood, though?
Sentience is the measure. It's not even a measure. It's literally saying that you either are experiencing life or not. You either are making preferences or you're not.
Right.
Okay, so would you provide moral consideration to an unborn child?
It depends if they're sentient.
Unborn children can form brain waves whenever they're in the womb. So would you
If
give
they're
more consideration
sentient,
to them?
which is not until like 24 weeks, and even that is debated. They even have talks about 30 weeks, and even that is debated. So yeah, if they're definitively sentient, like the animals we use, then I would say don't exploit them, don't unalive them for unreasonable reasons.
Okay, so in terms of your moral argument, what is kind of the basis of it? Like how
That
do you
I
ground
don't
your
want to
meta
be
ethics?
violated, that I don't want to be exploited, and I know other sentient beings don't want to be exploited either.
Yeah, but this is a question about meta ethics
Yeah, I don't care about your meta ethics. I'm here to ask you why you're not vegan.
because there's no meta ethical claim that can really move the bar for
Yes,
me.
there are.
Do you think
There
that it
are
is
claims.
well,
Go ahead.
do you think it's moral to leave a dog in a hot car? Your morality, not mine, not anybody else's. Do you think it is moral
Yeah.
for me to leave a dog in a hot car for my convenience?
For your
Yeah.
convenience, no. But I don't
Why?
base my morality on the harm principle.
Okay, so why do you think it is immoral for me to leave a dog in a hot car?
Because I think that it falls outside of the telos, the purpose of that creature in general.
My convenience.
Because it's a dog?
Because it's a dog? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Aren't you presupposing the purpose? Like, isn't this like can't you say
Exactly.
the same thing about the purpose that the host is assigning?
What's up?
Aren't you presupposing a telos purpose? Can't you say the same thing about the purpose that the host is assigning?
I mean, I would say that mine is based off of something that's immutable and objective.
Yeah, I don't know how you would argue any of that.
How so? Do you believe that morality is subjective or objective?
It's kind of besides the point. Like, we're just
No, I
talking
mean, if
about.
you're going to make an ought claim, it has to be grounded in
We're
something.
asking about your morality, so it doesn't matter.
Well, it actually kind of does, though, because
No,
this
but
is an entire
you're the
argument
one.
about
No,
morals
listen,
and meta
listen. Stop,
ethics.
stop,
So
stop,
you have to actually have
stop.
something to
Can
ground
you
it in.
stop? Can you stop? No, but we're not the one making the claim about objectivity right here. You are. So I just said I don't know how you'd make an argument for that. That's not me saying I have an argument for you in opposition. That's just saying I don't know what your argument would be.
Well, so whenever you're arguing specifically from the position of veganism, saying that it's a moral ought, the problem is, though, is if it's not based in something immutable and objective, then fundamentally it reductios into this idea of like moral subjectivism, where I could reject your presuppositions and just say I don't care about what
No,
you
wait,
believe.
wait.
There's
I
nothing to
just
ground
did
it
the
in.
same thing to you when you said that your reasoning for like granting a telos or a purpose to a being. I take that same thing. I did the same reductio to you, and you said it was not intuitive, right? Because if the host assigns a purpose, like their convenience from putting a dog in a hot car is apparently their telos, they just give the same argument as you. You say that's wrong. So
Yes, because
your
I
reasoning
base
isn't
I
even
base
intuitive to
mine
you.
on something immutable and objective.
Yeah, and what's that?
What's that?
Yeah.
It's the existence of God, and from God comes those objective moral standards. If you don't
Okay.
have something immutable, you
So
can't have any sort of
where is
moral
Sky Daddy?
standards.
Where is
What's
Sky
up?
Daddy? Is Sky Daddy in the room with us right now?
That's not an argument, is it?
I'm just asking where he is, the location.
Why is that a question that's relevant to the discussion?
I want to know if he exists. I'm not going to grant that.
Okay, so if you don't have God exist, then how do you ground anything in reality?
I don't really have to ground anything in reality,
Oh,
but
so you
I
can't
just want
ground
to
your own
know.
logic and reason that you're already presupposing that you use in this debate?
Say I can't ground any of my views. Does that mean God exists?
What's up?
Say I can't ground any of my views. Does that mean God exists?
Does that mean God exists?
Yeah, say I have no grounding for any of my views.
I would say that based off of the fact that you can't ground it doesn't necessarily necessitate God's existence. But if you want to
Okay, so
actually ground something,
what's
I would say
the
that you would
reason
have
to
to kind of
believe that God
operate on
exists?
some kind of like first principle of something.
Well, just tell me what's the reason to believe God exists?
What is the reason to believe that God exists? I mean, for example, like the idea of irreducible complexity, the fact that you're already operating with logic and reason, certain things that are kind of necessitated on kind of like a by first cause and unmoved mover.
And why would anyone accept that?
Because I mean, even of yourself, you operate on presuppositional arguments.
That's fine. I don't have to accept God.
Yeah, so I don't have to accept your belief either. So we're kind of back at the point.
I mean, the whole point is what we're saying is do you experience empathy? Do you know what that is?
Yes, but also empathy is a very subjective term.
Yeah, I'm just asking if you experience it.
So, so do you only use empathy for certain things? Is that
Do I
what
use
you're...
empathy for certain things?
Yeah, for only certain things?
What do you mean
Like
by
you
that?
can't
Can you
have
define that?
empathy for... You wouldn't have empathy for... you don't have empathy for a cow or what they go through their lifespan, how little of it they have to be on your plate?
What's up?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Never
I
mind.
just feel like this is all a huge distraction from your own choices because you
You
recognize
came
that.
up here. Why did you come up here?
Why did I
He
come up here?
He wanted to
Because
Yeah, why did
debate.
you come up on a vegan feed?
no, it's if you're gonna hold to a position, you have to have something to ground your meta ethics in.
Why
Well,
can we not
no.
ground why
You have
can
science
we
behind it.
yeah
Yeah,
why can we not ground our ethics in like basic logic, and then also the next tool would be empathy.
because empathy is subjective.
Only
I don't
talking
know.
about you.
Like,
My argument isn't from a position of empathy, though. I'm not arguing from a subjectivist position. Your position is held within subjectivism, which just basically reductios into moral nihilism.
yeah, but you don't have any arguments for God or Sky Daddy, right? Like, you just say, I believe in Sky Daddy, and that's why it's okay for me to violate others. We're saying, hey, you probably experience empathy. You probably understand that if you don't want some like form of harm to come to you, then you can probably infer that others don't want some form of harm to come to them. And just based on that, you can go, if I don't have to harm them, then I probably shouldn't.
The thing is, though, is that harm principle in and of itself also reductios into moral nihilism because it's still a subjective metric.
Okay, give me the reductio.
Okay, so is the idea of harm universal?
I'm not sure what you mean by universal.
Is it accepted as like something that everyone says, yes, this is harm, yes, like fundamentally everything that we define as harm is harm.
Still not clear on the question. You're just asking me, is harm harm? Like, is harm harm? Like,
Yeah, is it
I don't
something
know.
that is universally stated that this is an exact definition of what harm is across the board for everything? Or is it subjective based off of, well, this could be harm, this might not be. Maybe this harms somebody, but in reality, it's not a harm as a total.
Oh yeah, I guess it could be subjective, but I don't see
Okay,
it.
so then what happens whenever I kind of like reject this idea of like what harm is?
So you're saying that
Why are you rejecting?
we shouldn't hold Jeffrey Dahmer accountable because morality is subjective. We should have
No,
let
I'm
him
saying that
keep doing
morality
what
is
he was
required to be
doing.
objective. Because if you don't have objective morality,
No,
then you can reductio into a world where Mustache
But you're
Man
not giving
was
any
right to
reductios
unalive
yet.
6 million
You still
people.
haven't. No. We
Yeah,
can still say
so
it's
you would
wrong,
have to,
even if we no. We can still say it's wrong, even if we don't believe in Sky Daddy, right? And you haven't offered any
but you
reduction.
don't have an objective moral standard that you can ground it
Yep,
in.
that's fine, and that's fine. We don't need
So
that.
all it takes
That
is just
doesn't
somebody
exist.
rejecting your presuppositions, then you get might makes right. So you kind of
Yeah,
just
but
cook yourself.
I don't believe you're actually. Wait, no, you're saying that might makes right, and
No, I'm saying it
you're giving yourself a
reductios into
reductio
that.
now. You're
Slow down,
no, but
slow
that's
down and
your
listen.
position.
Slow
But
down
that's
and listen.
no. You
Use your
stop,
listening
stop.
ears here.
No,
If you don't have an
stop.
objective moral standard,
Obviously,
it
no,
reductios
that's
into
not true.
nihilism.
No,
Nothing
obviously
matters.
that's not true. No, that's not true. I don't
How?
know where
How
you
is it
got
not
that.
true?
Because I still value things despite not believing in Sky Daddy. So I don't
Okay,
know
well
what
then
you're
what
talking
happens
about.
if somebody else doesn't agree with your presuppositions and just says, I don't give a fuck?
You can talk to him.
That's yeah. Like I don't know what the issue is. But
Okay, can you really talk to people that have more force than you and just say, you know what, we don't care?
Huh?
And they just steamroll
what are
over
you
you?
even
What are you
talking about?
talking about?
You're just saying like, oh, we're just gonna have a kumbaya talk to people and maybe they'll change their
You're
opinions on
just
something
bringing all
Are
We're
you
doing it
as
right
they
aware?
trample on
now.
you.
We're doing it right
Do you know
now.
how communication works?
Yeah, but the thing is though is that we're talking about objective versus subjective.
You know what's going to happen, and you probably won't be alive for this, but eventually, by science, they're saying by 2050, majority of everybody will be vegan, and by 2070, the world will be vegan, because we cannot continue going on the way we're going. Meat is not sustainable.
Okay,
It's
so how
killing
does
our
that
water.
undo
It's
any of my
killing our
moralistic
air. It's
arguments?
killing our earth.
So
The
how does
perks
this
of if we also were to stop exploiting sentient beings, there would be other benefits for us as well.
once again, how does this necessarily ground your moral
We'd be able
argument?
to we'd be able to feed 10 billion people,
I
and
mean,
there are
this
only
is
8
basically
billion
just arguing
people
from
He's
here.
not,
utilitarianism.
Lord, he's not
Look, the
talking
problem
about
is
that though. He's talking about straight morality,
no.
but he's talking about it in a debate bro form that makes it so that he can demand that families be ripped apart and someone's body be cracked open and he can lick their insides. That's his That's what he's defending right now.
Why are you doing?
If you reject empathy, mister, then yeah, we're not going to get through to you. If you have like
I
no
reject it as a moral standard.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's
you're
not
just
what I
like
ground morality
disgusting.
in because it's
You're like
subjective.
really disgusting.
Why
Like
do you
Because
say
it's subjective. It's not a moral judgment. It's subjective.
Get this
Somebody
straight.
can say, I don't
It's
have
okay to
empathy for
enslave
this person.
humans. So it's okay to enslave humans. It's okay. Especially dumb humans. Can
No,
we
because
enslave dumb
objectively
humans?
it's wrong.
What's wrong with enslaving stupid humans?
Because objectively it's incorrect.
Why is it objectively incorrect? Where does it say that in the Bible? That I can't breed humans to be stupid and then farm them? Where does it say that?
It comes from the fact that we're created in the image of God.
But these are
and
different
bearing His
humans.
likeness,
These
according to
are
our
not the
essential
original.
properties,
These
we
are not.
actually have
No,
humanity.
hush. These are not the same humans. I've bred them to be different. They're a different breed of humans now. They're just a little bit stupid, but they look just like us. They feel just like us. Is it now moral to enslave them?
Do they possess the essential properties of humanity?
I don't know what that means. What are the essential properties
Well,
of
then
humanity?
why are you arguing about philosophy?
Oh my God, dude, get off my panel. I'm so done with you.
Yeah, he's a little tiring.
I think anybody who rejects empathy when you're
And I agree,
discussing
Sarah.
morality or ethics, that's completely irrational, right? Like, obviously, if we're going to have a discussion about ethics, and that requires subjectivity, right? Like, so to reject empathy as a tool for discussing morality, and you want to presuppose a god in the argument when we're literally like there are plenty of really solid arguments for objective morality if you ground in basic logic, right? And you can expand out from basic logic using the tool of empathy being your subjective test, and you can have I wouldn't consider it completely objective, but as close to objective as you can get. And obviously everybody's subjective experience is different, and that's why these discussions are important. Like, that's the whole point.
Exactly it. Yes. I couldn't have said it better myself. That was perfectly put. Does anybody else have any last thoughts? I don't know if anybody else want to say anything. Okay. Orguyo. I probably butchered that. I'm so sorry. How do I pronounce your name?
Orguyo.
Orguyo. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Orguyo.
Orguyo's fine.
Orguyo. It's my stupid, ignorant white tongue. I'm so sorry. I don't come in contact with other people's names, so I don't get to practice them. So I'm very sorry. So why aren't you vegan yet?
I am vegan.
He is one of us. He's
Oh, well now I'm
a
even
friendly.
more sorry.
He has a lot of good things to say. He
Oh
has
my
a lot of
God.
good.
I'm even more sorry then.
No, what I was saying about the last guest is that he was just trying to flex and using unsubstantial faith to justify the nonsense that he was talking about, and then bringing up religion to justify even more harm. I mean, it's that macho-ness that was indoctrinated to people to make sure that they can control, and that's all he was doing. He was just trying to control the conversation with unsubstantial faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially like Ben kept pointing out, and actually, everybody actually pointed out, the removing of empathy is just, I mean, that's exactly what led to oppression. All oppressions were lack of empathy for the victim.
Yeah, and he was trying to even fold the definition of harm based on convenience. And I was trying to put that in the comments is that it's the definition of harm is subjective based on the convenience of the one that's oppressing. So if he wants to say, I'm going to twist your arm, but I don't think that's harming you because I'm trying to teach you a lesson, that's him moving the goalpost.
Yeah. That's him degrading the experiences of his victims to make himself feel better about whatever it is
Right.
he's doing to them. Yeah.
Which is a lot of the organized religion allows for that.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Plus, yeah, he's just not taking He doesn't want to take the responsibility of his actions.
If he's
Yeah,
Christian,
all meat eaters try to do that to make themselves feel better.
I don't know if he's like a Judeo-Christian of some sort, but maybe he should check out Christspiracy as they go into, if he really believes that his God is real, right?
Yeah,
that
really.
book doesn't debunk your God. It just goes over the original texts that are referenced for your Bibles and talks about the words that have been super manipulated against you. So maybe you should check that out. even within your objectivity of your God, it sounds like your God did not want you to do this to animals and actually prefers you to respect animals. But,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I don't have anyone else requesting. We must have done it, guys. We made them all vegan.
You don't have anybody else?
Yeah, no one's. Oh, there's someone. They heard me calling.
Yeah, the meat eaters have got to get their last dig in.
That's
I was
right.
about to say, Lori, your timeline of everybody becoming vegan was just
What do you,
pushed
what do
up, but
you, what do you call a cow with no legs?
Oh, you're a kid. Get off. Get
Yeah.
off. Get off. You're a kid. You're not old enough to be here. Children
oh,
don't have to come up.
it's 3 o'clock in the East Coast,
Yeah.
so kids are coming home.
Yeah.
Do your homework,
What were you
kids.
saying? What were you saying? What were you
Oh,
saying?
that your timeline was pushed up because everybody's now vegan. Nobody wants to come
Instead
up.
of 2050, it's right now.
Oh wow. Yeah, that would be great.
That would be.
That would be great. And then what are people going to do when everything's gone? They're going to have to turn to plants. You know?
Yep. That's right. Yeah. Well, maybe I will call it here. I'm sorry that you just came up. Oh, God. Say your name one more time, Orguyo.
You can. That's fine. I'll respond to that.
No, I don't want that to be the case. I want to say your actual name. I want to respect you. I feel so terrible, and I want to be able to actually pronounce your name. I can talk to you outside of this, though. We don't need to do it here because it might be a little more awkward on live. But anyway, okay. Well, I'll just call it here then. I think we've had a very productive day, and I really do appreciate everyone being here. I love having a great vegan panel, even if it intimidates people. I don't care. We're so respectful. People can watch and see that we take our time and our turns. So, yeah, I really appreciate that. Can everybody please go follow all the vegans? You can't see them all, but there's Ben the Vegan Farmer. You guys are all out of different order. Orguyo, God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm sorry. Please go follow all these vegans. It doesn't say your name on there. And then Orguy. And then it's spelled Orgyo. Okay, don't let my ignorance get in the way. Go check them out. There's Ben the Vegan Farmer, does awesome veganic farming and also has a sanctuary, talks about great things, goes live, goes on other lives. Please go follow him. Wealth of knowledge. Lori Light, also freaking amazing animal rights activist. She talks a lot, especially like other animals that aren't talked about, like horses and animals that are being exploited elsewhere. Like she has a great wealth of knowledge in local and far away. And then we've also got Herbivorous. Oh God, I don't know how to pronounce I've never said your second name. Ouroboros?
Yeah, you did it. You could just say herb though.
Okay. Well, Herbivorous Ouroboros. I'm gonna try to say the whole thing. I'm gonna be better. Please go check him out. He is also a fantastic animal rights activist. Speaks so eloquently. Obviously knows a lot more about debating. Ben also has some great insight. So please go check them out. All amazing animal rights activists, and anybody that's in the chat that's vegan, please go check them out. You can ask anybody questions. We're all here to help you stop using animals. The animals desperately need you to not use them, need respect. So, does anybody have any last words they want to share? Anybody going live? Yeah.
Thank you for hosting.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys for coming up. I think Universe is going live today. I was going to say, I'm not sure who else is going live next. Okay. So yeah, definitely go check out Universe. He has a great panel. He brings up a lot of vegans too. He definitely needs help getting to some people in there. Like my numbers are low. His numbers sometimes hit low. So we need to get some likes going on in his live. So, all right, guys.
All right.
Well, I'm going to call it there.
So are you ready to come to Universes?
Oh yeah. I'll be back.
To Universes maybe? Okay.
Yeah, I'll go to Universes,
Okay, cool.
and I'll also be live on Wednesday 9 a.m. and Friday 9 a.m. and then back again on Monday. So,
Okay.
all right,
Cool.
Yeah, you guys.
I'll see you.
Have a great vegan day, and
Right,
thank you
guys,
to
go to Universes feed. Yeah,
please go to Universe's feed, and also thank you to all my mods. Thank you to all my mods, especially you, Ben. I saw you so actively. You're amazing. You saved me a lot. Thank you. I really can't press that enough. Thank you. All right. Well, you guys have a great vegan day.
Okay. See you later.